I'll be so good to you. I know I've got a lot to lose. I realize that you are sunlight in my life. I think that I need you to shine by my side. And the nights that I'm not sleeping, I only wanna feel you laying next to me. And the beats my heart is skipping, maybe 'cause I'm missing when you awaken me. And the nights that I'm not sleeping, I only wanna feel you laying next to me. And the beats my heart is skipping, maybe 'cause I'm missing when you must be a bit of me who wants to lose. They realize that you are the sunlight in my life. They think that I need you to shine by my side. You've been nothing but good to me. How could I not see?
Let's go. Can you believe we are this deep into the 2026 Americas Summit and this show still doesn't have a name?
Still doesn't have a name, Evan. It's 100% correct.
But we have names. My name's Evan. This is Jesse. That concludes the list of people at the desk. Last week was not America's Summit. It was the Legend Tournament. We don't have to include that. So, editor, cut that out.
Computer.
Computer.
Edit that out.
Jarvis, cut that last line out. All right, Jesse, you want to recap the leaderboard for us?
Absolutely, Evan. That's right, Evan. Skit Sons we have right now in last place, unfortunately, with 3 points total. We have Parceros following up with 5. Good Luck Have Fun, 5 as well. Then we have Banana Boys in at 7. A very funny team. I don't know if you caught any of the streams, Evan. The camera work that they have going on in the backgrounds it's something.
They're hilarious. I have caught a few of the streams. I've been in them.
I've seen Stranger Things.
I've seen Stranger Things.
And then we have Chaos, tied for first place with skills over bills at a nice little 8.
Just like last time, we'll be introducing modifiers that are going to keep each set visually interesting for people watching at home.
That's right, Evan. We're going to be seeing a new rendition to the Angelmon once more. So stay tuned to see what changes come for this week. And Evan, we also have to include that the Blue Angelmon will be sticking around as a permanent feature to America Summit 2026.
I like the Blue Angelmon. It added a little oomph to the pick band phase, kept things changing up.
Oh, absolutely. It is going to be Evan's birthday coming up, so we're going to be having to do America Summit without him, unfortunately. But we still have Topa and Shambi, so we hope you have a good time, Evan, on your birthday. Enjoy it.
So much.
We'll welcome you back with open arms as your one. And so with that being said, Evan, if you can go ahead and tell us our matches for this week.
Yes, sir. We got Chaos versus Good Luck Have Fun, Banana Boys versus Skit Sons, and then we're closing it out with Skills over Bills versus Parceros.
And so, Evan, here's your cake.
Oh, thank you so. Oh, dude,
I'm so sorry.
All over my Angelmon. All these Angelmon.
I gotta save the editor, Evan.
Oh my
It's
God.
been great talking to you, but until next week, we'll see you guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2026 Americas Summit. My name is Evan, and with me at the table, it's Topa V and Sean B. Topa, welcome back, man.
It is great to be back. I couldn't think of any better way to spend my Friday evening than watching some amazing challenge mode games in competitive format.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad to be here with you as well. And Sean B, how you doing, Sean?
Definitely, man. We are right now in week 4 of the America Summit, and it's getting really intense.
Dang Skippy it is, dude. Like Sean mentioned, chat, this is the second to last opportunity for these teams to earn points. So the stakes are getting higher and higher as we go. Here are the matchups for today. You'll see Parceros is going to be fighting Skit's Sons. Then we'll jump over to Skills over Bills versus Good Luck Have Fun. And we'll close out the day with Chaos versus Banana Boys. It's going to be a lot of fun and also a lot of challenge mode because we are still going to be in there, though notably, some things have changed that have shaken up both week 3 and the weeks to follow. Here's a quick look at the leaderboard. You'll see that the point totals are a little bit different. I think that video that we showed to transition in here might have been for last week. As you can see, I am back, though I am a year older as well. So we got Chaos in the lead with 10 points, Skills over Bills following closely behind at 9, Banana Boys and Parceros tied at 8, and then we got Good Luck Have Fun with 7, and Skit's Sons at 6. So, Topa, one of the things that I kind of hinted at there, the collaboration has been over for a little while now, so that means some of the most notable monsters from the available picks are no longer here. They're not with us anymore. How has that changed things in challenge mode for people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always talked about Water Gandalf, how we, don't like to see Water Gandalf, but we inevitably were seeing Water Gandalf in almost every game where he was available. But that's obviously no longer the case since last week. The collaboration monsters have been removed from the pool, so it's made for a little bit of more aggressive playstyle, but still there's a lot of bruiser that has been going on.
That's good. And it, like you mentioned, there is going to be a little bit more diversity just by the nature of there being fewer monsters, fewer collaboration monsters available for people to pick. But we do also have the return of some popular modifiers in here that should spice some things up a little bit too. We've got the Devilmon returning, which means it allows one competitor swap a matchup with another. We also have the Angelmon that we've had in here. We have a water one and a fire one. The fire one allows a team to force the opponent to pick a specific monster. Now, notably, that monster has to be available, and the next Angelmon, the Water Angelmon, supersedes that. This allows a team to pre-ban a monster, and this applies to both teams and for all 4 games within the round. So this is probably my favorite one, Sean, because you can outright tell your opponents what they can't pick.
But that is also another problem because it will force you to not pick the monster as well. And sometimes challenge mode like to troll people by not giving the monster to the enemy at all. So the pre-ban didn't really work anyway. So you probably can't even pick the strong monster that you supposedly pre-ban. So that is a huge problem.
Yeah, it's symmetrical. That's probably the biggest problem, chat. It's you're going to hedge your bets as well because, something we've talked about a couple times on here too is that, frankly, you're kind of unlikely to get an LD5 in your lineup because if you're unfamiliar with challenge mode, which you shouldn't be by this point if you've been keeping up with the summit, but I won't blame you if you are, you're unlikely to get LD5s in your random pick pool because that's how it works. Every team is assigned a random assortment of monsters from a collective total. But it's kind of a low chance that LD5s are even going to appear in there, so normally folks will not pre-ban an LD5. We're getting into Parceros versus Skit's Sons coming up here, and in this bracket, we're going to see it completely empty right now, and then they're going to take turns assigning their teammates to different matchups. That's them, dude. They're on the Zoom call right now, just like us.
Nice.
You can hear them.
I need to re-app crit rate and I need to re-app red. And then
He's got a re-app crit rate. You hear that? He's got a re-app crit rate, but that's probably for something else because you don't need to worry about that for challenge mode. Also, I want to take a second to say hello, chat. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Amadace, Zeke, Ultra Deathlord, Play Andy Beahi, Mike the Knight, and more. Thank you guys. And of course, we're live on both Twitch and YouTube, so thank you guys for being here. Oh, there's Ace right now. Look at that on Skit's Sons team as they're prepping for this too. This is going to be great, dude. Oh, Topa, I'm excited to get into this, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Skit's Sons is currently sitting at last place, as we saw on that leaderboard. We still have 2 more weeks. They have this week and next, but they are currently in last place, so they really do need these points.
Yeah, they got to turn it on and lock in right now. So, Sean, the interesting thing about this, too, is that by having the whole team on a call, it kind of turns it into a sort of cooperative play environment.
That is for sure a blessing and a curse, because if you need help, like you have G3 professional gamer on call immediately, like what do I do now? Instead of like playing alone in your pajama at home and just looking at the ceiling for help. But if you make a mistake,
Yeah.
there are three toxic gamers ready to jump right on you, and make sure you know it.
Dude, I've thought about that
Gab is on
actually,
their
because
team?
like, you know, on one hand, it's great to have, you know, so many brains helping you out, right? Like in theory, 4 heads are better than 1, right? Like we've covered this on stream. It's just basic math. But dude, if you misclick something and you have it, now you've let down your teammates, everybody's yelling at you. Topa, I'd imagine that would get to some people, myself included.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's
that's
also the
indeed.
issue that maybe you have too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, you might everyone has their own, you know, preferred play style a little bit. So there might be some conflicting ideas as well, you know, on what to draft and what's really the best way to
and
get
me.
things done. So that's something that these players have to be cognizant of as well.
Yeah, so chat, keep your eyes peeled on the cams in game, because once we're actually in the matches, you'll be able to see these guys. You'll see their faces, their reactions live, which is really cool. But based on what Topa and I were just talking about, it makes me wonder what the audio must be like. You know, how if there's ever conflicting messaging about who to target or what skill to use on somebody. I'd love to hear that, but it'd be super chaotic, Topa, so I don't know if we could do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's already, you know, sometimes we're talking with the players while they're in these calls and, you know, just trying to, you know, give them the airtime and everything. But yeah, definitely can get to be a lot.
Yeah. And again, so chat, once all the matchups are set up, then we're going to go through and see if anybody wants to use a Devilmon, an Angelmon, or of either variety, the Water Angelmon or the Fire Angelmon. Something important to note is that there is no reason not to use a Water and Fire Angelmon. They do reset weekly, so it's either use it or lose it, essentially. So there's no reason not to, but it's all in the mental, it's all in the mind games of whether or not they actually want to do it. So far we got Wallen versus Sappy, Messa, Amodace, Mendietta versus Daniel Carioca, and Gab versus Varventus to end that match. So, Sean, it's right now that I'd love to ask you that if you had the opportunity to pre-ban a monster, what would you use it on? What monster in challenge mode are you least excited to fight?
So from last week performance, we already saw that the blue Angelmon, the pre-ban Angelmon, was already used on the red Angelmon that forced you to pick something. So people were already using it on unit that was probably the worst in the box, which is Triton, because they're so scared that people was going to force them to pick the unit. They have to pre-ban it beforehand. So that's kind of funny.
That is really funny. Wait, so Topa, tell me a little about that. Why Triton?
Yeah, we saw an interesting meta develop last week with the Angelmon, seeing that the blue Angelmon does supersede the Fire Angelmon. Some players, you know, really didn't like the Triton. So in the last matchup, they chose to pre-ban the Triton. That then, you know, made it so that they didn't have to force pick that Triton. And Triton is, you know, it's in RTA works okay sometimes when you have like the LDs to pair it with. Obviously, it's going to be a very high speed AoE cleave playstyle that you're going to play with that monster, if like a Nephthys or a Maximilian. But in challenge mode, first of all, there's no Nephthys, and the chance of getting a Maximilian is very, very low, as you alluded to before, with the LDs in there. So Triton really just doesn't have any good pairs in challenge mode most of the time, so it ends up being a really dead pick a lot of the time.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a fascinating turn of events. I'm wondering if that's going to hold true today, or if people are going to maybe experiment around. Though, admittedly, looking through the box, it's kind of hard to land on somebody that I really want people to pick constantly, Sean. Like some of these, I know that one of them was like Kumar, right? But Kumar actually performed pretty well, if I'm not mistaken, Sean.
Yeah, that was probably one of the funnest things we saw, or we thought Kumar was going to be one of the worst performing unit in the game for challenge mode. And Kumar was force picked on one of the team in the last round last week, and Kumar ended up winning every game that he was in. And he wasn't even banned in any of those games, and he was clapping left and right. So that was really funny. So you might give the advantage to the enemy by forcing them to pick the unit if you didn't plan out correctly, because they were not prepared for Kumar at all. Because who would ever fight a Kumar in RTA ever in their lifetime, including these G3 gamers.
Dude, that's why he's the GOAT. And you're so right, because like in a weird way, you have to be careful, because like what if you force pick them, or you force them to pick like Kumar like that, and you accidentally just open their third eye and reveal like, oh my god, this monster's amazing. It's like you accidentally give them a super good monster. Oh, we might see something like that happen today. Now, Topa, the other thing, the other thing that you can do here is you can also just force people to pick a strategy that maybe you're more comfortable playing against or something like that. Do you see any validity in that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you know, if you want to force your opponent to like a bruiser playstyle, we saw that last week as well. Team GLH have forced their opponent to pick a Molly. That didn't go too well for them, but you know, they did do that. So they're forcing that Molly, you know, some slower bruiser healing monster that then, you know, kind of, yeah, locks them into that turn 2 playstyle they, you know, look to exploit, but obviously they didn't do such a good job last week.
Yeah, and then, you know, there's also like the jokey approach. I don't even know how much I necessarily mean this. Oh, we're getting words on the pre-ban. Oh, did you say pre-ban on Triton? Is that what you said? Pre-ban Triton?
It happened.
Pre-ban Triton? I can't believe my ears. We just heard this.
Yeah, the news are coming in right now. Parceros have pre-banned Triton, and they have used the Blue Angemon on Chivu. So Parceros have to pick a Chivu, and they did not use Devilmon. Either team didn't use Devilmon. For Parceros, they did not use the pre-ban. Actually didn't use any pre-ban. And they are using the Red Devilmon or Red Angemon to make the opposing team first pick a Triton, but once again, that was pre-banned. So that is not going to be taking effect here.
Wow, there we go, guys. All right. So the Angelmon have been deployed. Fire and Water have both been deployed. Keep your eyes peeled for the developing meta chat. We'll see what lies ahead in this coming day here. We got Wallen versus Sappy to start us off. They're queuing up into the game right now. Wallen looking fresh in there too. Look at that, dude. This is gonna be fun, chat. Topa and Sean, I'm looking forward to the pick ban phase here.
Yeah, definitely. So once again, to reiterate that, Skit Sons, so Sappy, if he does have a Chivu in his box, he's forced to pick that Chivu. And on the other side, Triton, obviously, well, can't be picked by either team, but that is also makes it so that Triton is not having to be drafted by Wallen.
It's like, great job getting ahead of it with Parceros banning the Triton like that. You know, it's like just on the off chance that somebody's trying to get us to force pick a Triton. We're not trying to do that. You could always try to get somebody to force pick a Chow, because we know that Chow's he's best in the pick ban phase. You can play against him, but honestly, dude, he's had so many wins these days that I think I'm only half kidding when I say that.
Yeah, Chow has actually had a really good performance, even in Special League, where, you know, obviously it's all just the regular element monsters in there, but he got a buff the latest balance patch. And even before that buff, Chow has been on a tear in challenge mode. It's quite strong in that mode. And I wouldn't be surprised to see, you know, Chow like being even a priority pick for some of these players here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, folks in chat have discovered that there's Evanception in here. Yeah, Havoc, what's going on, dude? There's Evan Squared in chat. Kumar underrated for real. Yeah, we learned that. We had folks learn that the hard way. Here we go, guys. We're getting into the pick ban phase right here. Topa and Sean, take it away.
Here we go, the first match of today, Wallen and Sappy. Sappy has that first pick. He does not have a Chivu in his box, so there's no force picks or restricted picks in this matchup for that matter, because there's no Triton on either side either, Sean.
Ooh, and then he has the best LD5 as well, the Light Hwarang, 400 damage output. And over there, I think Wallen doesn't really have like a real healer in his team, besides like some soft healing coming out from Pater, Kumar, that kind of stuff. So let's see what it's going to go with here. I think the Water Gojo is probably one of the best unit for special, not a special, challenge mode. And it is being picked up first with the Fire Megami. And over there, we got the early Chow pick. No one need to force anybody here. Chow is being mid-pick in the draft.
Yeah, Chow, with the Light Hwarang too, there's two monsters that now just ignore buff. So like that Water Gojo defense buff does not matter at all. The damage goes right through in Light Hwarang. In fact, actually gains more damage from that. And as you mentioned, Wallen doesn't really have any that good of sustain. Maybe we'll see a Kumar pick here. There's already two passes on the side of Sappy, but he opts to go for an Eretion and Shiho.
And to answer that, we have the Riley and the Wind Pudding Princess. Double healer coming out from Sappy. So locking in the Bruiser. Meanwhile, Wallace is forced to play CC by the game itself because his box tell him to play CC. So we got a CC lineup. We got a Diana last pick coming out. Pretty solid against Xiao as well. I think both teams are looking pretty good.
I really favor Sappy in this instance. I think you can span out the Diana if you're Sappy and you have one huge damage carry here with a whole bunch of support around it. You either have the Horang or the Chao, and you have a healer, pairing either way. Okay, we're banning the Angela, so there's still a Riley healing and the Vanessa, to revive, provide defense breaks. So Sappy's draft is looking very, very strong here, in my opinion, Sean.
I think the Shiho was kind of a throw because you did not need to speed contest anymore. And you had the Wind Zenitsu, which were probably much better against the Chao and the Light Huarang instead of the Shiho, because the Shiho half the Shiho kit is being countered by these units. So I think that is why it's not looking so good.
Definitely, yeah. These units do have that ignore buff, so like Shiho in this build doesn't matter at all. Not that that's the first part here. Anyways, goes for the Megami to not give it the attack bar. The Chao is not tuned to the Vanessa here, unfortunately, so the Megami will cut in and has the chance to bottom proc out of that defense break. But even without any healing on wall inside here, I mean, that Megami is not going to last very long.
Oh, that is a beautiful Despair Stun onto the Riley, saving the team from the attack buff of the Riley, pushing back the Riley attack bar to make sure that it's not getting any real turn as well. But the Fire Megami will absolutely go down. And the Shiho with that beautiful skill too, looking to do a lot of impact on Sappy team.
The all is connecting. Obviously, there's, one wind unit that's already stunned, but the Horang, technically as a wind unit, as you're hitting it, does have the elemental advantage. But the Shiho does not care, just lands every single stun right there. And the Horang is almost going down as in a little bit of a squishier build here, being built on crit rate.
Guys, you might be very strong against debuff, but you're not strong against damage. And this Water Gojo is definitely making sure that Sappy is feeling all of his AoE damage and the shield's back onto the invincibility. But the most important thing is the Hwarang is down, and the Wind Draken Warrior did not take a lot of damage from the Chao, looking to Despair Stun even further.
Yeah, really surprised his third around here from Well, and just having enough damage on the Horang on that crit rate build once again just doesn't have the surprise build that we're used to seeing. I mean, this Verder is definitely making things work. They're getting all of these violent procs. And even the Shiho just landing a lot of stuns with that skill too, getting nice cycling in.
Maybe this Chao could have changed the approach, going straight for the Shiho, but the Shiho is actually kind of tanky. Took the hit, and he can take another one. And this Chao is not proccing a whole lot of violence to get it with a Riley. Meanwhile, the Water Gojo is doing so much damage, and here comes the heal block that completely counter Riley's skill 4. And another beautiful Despair Stun. Sappy ready to throw some chair and keyboard on the wall right there.
Yeah, he is not happy about this Riley. It's been constantly stunned. The pressure that Ballin is putting here is just too much for Sappy to hang on. That Riley doesn't have a self-cleansing mechanism, right? And even the heal block too, it's just such a huge counter that Riley, the skill 4, would not be healing anything. And She-Hulk, another skill 2, is going to take out the Chao, and that is going to be the last of Sappy's damage, leading the battlefield. And Ballin is actually going to be taking this first match here.
Wow. Unbelievable performance. We can see that the momentum of a team with attack bar control and damage is so scary, even if you are ready for it, because I'm pretty sure Sappy picked a team that on paper was not bad. We have unit that can self-cleanse, we have unit that is hard to debuff, we have a healer that is famous for cleansing everything. But the moment you lose all momentum in terms of attack bar and enemy take like 3 turns while you take 1, no amount of passive can save you from this amount of damage.
Yeah, it really just, the Horang, just died so fast, and the passive almost felt non-existent at Messa. It got stunned, it got heal blocked, every debuff landed on it, and with that crit rate build, having lower health and defense, it just died so fast.
Wow, there you
And
go.
congratulations,
Ballin.
man.
The first win of the day, dude. Yeah, Topa, you're right. That the Hwarang just kind of, he dropped way too quick.
Yeah, he really did. Sappy actually owns a Horang. I know he owns a Horang on his, account, so he uses that in regular RTA, religiously as well. But he's probably used to, that Horang having at least like 6,000 more health, 200 more defense.
Yeah.
And, that really makes all the difference, especially when paired with heals, right? When you have a higher health pool, you're getting those percentage heals. They're obviously, going to be worth more as well. So, you kind of expect that Horang to last a lot longer. But it just went down so fast. And, Wallen was in control pretty much the entire match, even though it was a 3v4 almost.
Yeah, Wallen, I've been consistently impressed with. He's done a great job drafting for this. He feels very prepared. And those stuns, Sean, there were so many stuns coming out from Wallen this game.
Yeah, the despair stun from the Wind Dragon Warrior was exceptional when it landed on the Riley. Nothing else mattered. The moment you see an AoE coming out of this unit and it landed on the Riley, the game was sort of locked in for Wallens right there. I'm so excited, man. With the new events coming in Summoners War, I can get my hands on this unit finally.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Everybody's super excited right now because the 12th anniversary events were all announced today. So the subreddit has been talking about it all day. They've been chatting about how it's like in combination with the Summoner's Way questline update as well as the selective Nat 5 summon update. Everybody basically gets 2 guaranteed selected Nat 5s of their choice, which is really exciting, as well as a bunch of skill ups. I think it's like 22 combined skill ups. It's like 10 for one, 12 for another, which is really exciting for that. Here we go, guys. Messa versus Amodace, already locked in and ready to go in the pick ban phase again. Topa and Sean, take it away.
Oh, Amo has that Chivu, and that is the first pick that he has to pick, so he's just getting it right out of the way, and Chivu is going to be the first pick. On Messa's side, we have my 2 LDs, the Horang and the Ragdoll. Horang is back. We'll see if it does a better performance, if it's even going to be drafted this time, Sean.
Oh, the Horang is getting drafted by Messa. And I think for Amo Box, he's kind of lacking the follow-up that you usually need with Chiwu. And some of them are even on the other side. So I'm not sure how Amo's going to cook here. We have the Chiwu and the Shiho getting picked up. But he definitely going to need like another proper follow-up here to utilize the Chiwu properly.
Yeah, the Shiho actually outspeeds the Chiwu in this mode as well. Well, typically it does. Shiho obviously has very much higher base speed than the Chiwu does. So that goes first. So it's definitely not follow-up for the Chiwu. It does have that, skill too. That could potentially be some follow-up if you get some pushbacks. But there really isn't much, and we're going for a Gapsu.
Oh my god, that is one of a kind draft right there. We got Chiwu, Shiho, and Gapsu, a combination that you'll probably never see. It's like pineapple and pizza. Am I right?
Yeah, that might be one of those. You go put it in the replay system. Chiwu, Shiho, Gapsu. Let us see how many replays you find, because well, there might not be any in Guardian, at least maybe in Punisher, the whole Wild West of Summoners, where might see something like that.
Oh, we got a Molly getting picked up here. Nobody falls him on that one, but we have a Dinah as well. I think last pick Ragdoll is looking very fire for this one, seeing how much crit coming off Amo.
Yeah, I moved the last 2 picks. Those are the only monsters that really have crit on the team. Obviously, Chiwu with that guaranteed crit on the skill 2 does have some crit as well. But the Shiho is not built on crit. Gaps is not built on crit. And it's a quite single target focus. I'm not sure if Ragdoll is going to be the best pick here. It's definitely not a bad pick.
Oh, we have double passive. The Siren's on the table as well. We have Carno for the AoE slow, seeing there's not a lot of cleansing if you ban out the Gapsu right there. A lot of good options for Meza, but he is going for the Shizuka, potentially leaving the Shield on the field and maybe banning out the Gapsu to take out the main healing source.
I do like the Shizuka pick here. Obviously, it's very nice in the Shiho, just getting that invisibility for your own team, as well as, all the other buffs, well, really just immunity, and I guess defense buff that Artemil would be able to provide, but Artemil is getting banned, so Amo does get his Gapsu through, which is definitely going to be difficult for Messa to deal with, especially with the true damage of Gapsu skill 2 paired with the Shiho skill 3 to the additional damage artifacts. This Horang, as well as the Werner, not being on super high health, might drop quite fast that combo.
We shall see. Here we go. First stun belongs to the Shiho. Not sure about this Dinah draft right here, but the Molly did not provide enough glancing aura for that Gojo to dodge the stun. And Dinah's getting a turn, but it's going to be a little bit of a soft turn in the first turn for Dinah.
Yeah, I was able to get that shield up, so that's going to completely mitigate the damage of this Gapsu S2. So Burner is going to be staying alive, and this Shibu can actually use the buff block with the skill 2 as well later. Get rid of that defense buff and maybe even prevent Molly from shielding some monsters.
The shield was actually kind of good with the strip into the shield coming out from Diana and Molly, and also the defense buff of this Water Gojo. So actually not a very bad pick. And if he can bring out his Gojo, I think it's going to be a great game for Amo.
Yeah, that might be, but Amo has already used most of his damaging skills here. Gapsu skill has been used, Shiho skill 3 has been used, and well, with that Molly proc, Mesa's whole team is full health. Meanwhile, the Shiho is already sitting at half health on Amo's side.
A Molly proc into a full health moment. This is like 2018 RTA clip, which is kind of crazy seeing it's being right now in 2026 with the new unit, new meta on the field as well. Truly a challenge mode moment.
Yeah, it really is. This Gapsu needs to get some violent procs. That's not going to proc that turn. Get back in that skill 2. And now Amo just decides to switch target. Sees there's a defense breakdown on top of Dyna. Utilize that Shibu skill 2. Guaranteed crit for some nice damage. But I mean, this Dyna is still looking quite healthy here.
Oh, we got the Monkey coming in. But once again, Monkey is another victim of the challenge mode build. If we have Light Harang being built on full damage, we have this Monkey being built on full tank. So it doesn't really hurt that much. Like, it's going to be tanky, which is the build that you want to use against a CC player. But in a bruiser mirror matchup like this, he doesn't hurt enough to finish the target. And we can see that Amo is Mesa is out-sustaining Amo rather easily here with Molly. And the Dyna is staying strong, not going down just yet after taking so many hits.
Yeah, it really is. That Monkey also actually glanced that skill to the Molly passes. So that definitely helped in keeping the Dyna alive. Now, if he gets a Vitamin proc here, probably could take out this Dyna. It does not get that proc, so Molly passive, a massive heal. Dyna's getting healed right back up and not going to even transform to drop all these debuffs off.
He's gonna transform, he's gonna risk getting counter attack in the face, but if he can take down the Gapsu, the main healer of Amo, he is gonna be very okay. And the Monkey did not counter at the most important moment, letting the Dyna transform back to taking another big hit.
And Chiwu did cut in there, got some nice damage with that skill 1, but Dyna is still there. And I mean, even if the Dyna drops here, which it's not going to drop. Okay, the Chiwu will finish the job, surely. Dyna does go down, but there's still a Korang near full health burner, Molly. Now, this is a lot for Amo to overcome when his Monkey's sitting at about 25% health.
By forcing enemy to pick the Chiwu, Messa kind of forced the enemy into a 3v4 situation because the Chiwu didn't do much the entire game to protect the team, set up for anything whatsoever. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this last week as well. Chiwu kind of has that similar role to Triton. It's slightly better, it does provide you with a speed lead as well. It gives you a little bit more damage to build and a crit damage build, obviously that guaranteed crit on the skill 2 as well. And, it has a little bit, well, it does have the buff block as opposed to silence, but Chiwu's maybe a bit better than Triton, but still obviously nowhere near an ideal pick in this situation, and that is going to show as Meza does take game 2.
Well done, Meza. Very nice picks from him as well. Like, dude, honestly, Sean, I am consistently impressed by the Werner.
That unit is just way too good for this mode where there are not a lot of counter to him, even with the Wind Monkey. Wind Monkey is another child in my book at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good on paper. Like, oh, AoE water over there. I'm going to pick Wind Monkey. He's going to stun the entire enemy team. He's going to do crazy things. Nah, he just doesn't do that.
He was fake. He was low-key a fraud that round, to be honest. Because, like, at the end when Diana transformed and, like, went all in on the Gapsu, like, that was the one time Xing needed to do something. And he just didn't. He just decided, oh, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm just going to ignore that ever happened. Also, Topa, we kind of talked about it, like, earlier when we were talking about, like, which monsters we're going to have people force pick or force ban or something. Molly was low-key really good in that game. She denied a couple very crucial hits by giving people glancing.
Yeah, she really did, and that passive healing is pretty strong on the Molly as well. We saw it getting that proc turn 1, and the Werner was right back to full health. So that healing as well as the glancing's chance, just damage mitigation is quite strong coming out of that monster.
Yeah, it was actually like low-key a secret killer. It really helped the team kind of stabilize. And so, yeah, well done, Mesa. He assembled a really solid, like, bruiser strategy there. That felt like almost an Exodia combo. That was really good. And of course, the force pick on the Chiwu, absolutely brutal. Chiwu did not really do a whole lot to help the team. Let's see if Daniel Carioca can get it together over here for his team. We got Mendietta versus DK coming up right now. Topa and Sean, go ahead.
Oh man, I mean, DK needs to get it together because he has a Chiwu in his box, and you know what that means? He has to pick that Chiwu. So looking at the combos, dude, we're seeing light Horang in every single game.
True. We also see the hidden gold Kumara on Daniel Carioca team. He's first picking the Shiho, but it's so comforting knowing that the enemy has to pick a monster, and then you can just like early pick a Chow or Heigang, and they have to pick into it, and there's no other way around it. And that is so cool about his special rule right here.
Yeah, Mendietta and his team obviously doesn't know that Daniel has the Chiwu in his box, so they don't know for sure that the Chiwu is coming, but we can see that, and, you know, Daniel knows that he has to pick this Chiwu at some point, and there it is. Better to do it, you know, early than late, and, you know, just forget about it. And now he does have actually some follow-up right there with that Lamila. Could have that Kumar, as you mentioned, and Kumar does have AoE silence as well. The Horang doesn't fit so well in this team, but, you know, obviously a very strong monster in general.
Man, if Wind Monkey is a fraud, then Lamila is also another huge fraud in this mode with not enough damage and not enough control. We're going to Heigang picked up by Mendy. I think Velaju is good, but I think a better unit will be the Wind Pudding into these double water threat right there for the constant shield and damage mitigation. Also being fat on HP is extremely good against the Lamila.
Yeah, I would like to see the Angela over the Velaju, and obviously Velaju does make a pretty nice combo with the Heigang. You do get that immunity as well as, you know, Heigang passive just protect you from anything bad really from happening, such as like, you know, the Fire Megumi that might have been coming out, or, you know, a buff remove into Oblivion on the Kumar. But Daniel going for a bit more single target damage here, picking up that Swift Paul and the Dyna. So Daniel kind of has, you know, all of like the pretty strong RTA monsters that are in a little bit of a sus builds here in challenge mode, with that Lamila, you know, not really having enough damage to take anything out, the Shiho being on low accuracy, and the Paul also, you know, just suffering from that minus damage or minus element artifacts that are seated on a lot of the other monsters.
All right, we got somebody just tuned into the stream, and we got the Wind Pudding Princess getting picked up immediately. I think the ban might be on the Fire Paw because he's kind of a scary monster in this mode where you can easily one-shot something when combined with the Velaju or something, or when combined with a Shiho. So we got the Heigang ban, we got the Dyna ban. Let's see if Mendietta can actually survive the snipe here. We got 3 swords of big damage coming out immediately, and if that Wind Bayak fall, the Shahad fall in the first turn, it might be tricky for Mendietta.
Might be tricky, but Daniel might also opt to go for this Velaju. Velaju has way less health, and the Shio can do a lot more damage on that too. I don't think it's on nearly as much minus fire as the Shahad as well. So it looks like Daniel is going to opt to go for the Velaju here, just trying to take a monster out early and build some momentum off that. We'll see if he has enough. I haven't done the damage calculations here, but ooh, that's gonna be close. That's gonna be really close, Sean.
Whoa, that is a tanky looking Velaju. My Velaju would probably die at this point, but it is still standing. I think he might go for the skill 2. He's going for the skill 3. He let every single provoke, but he let the cleanse happen on Velaju, the shield as well. That was a greedy move, I gotta say.
Yeah, Daniel got greedy there, wanting to have that fully stacked up arsenal, especially on fewer monsters. It obviously just more damage to each individual monster then. But in doing so, he did not take out the Velaju. Now there's a pretty big shield sitting on top of the Velaju on a high HP monster. It's going to be very difficult to finish off this Velaju now.
Yep, and especially for a unit that has very good defense value, shield is even more effective. And oh my god, survival 1 HP for the Velaju. Things are not looking good at all for Daniel. He blew his load, and it was just barely enough.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough. And I mean, even if the Velaju had gone down here, there's a lot of tankiness survivability still on Mendietta's side. But I mean, the Velaju proc now too just does move out of the shield, so it can be damaged here. But does get that healing going on. Shah getting another final practice. Lamila is not going to have a chance to utilize that skill too.
And unfortunately, I think this Firepaw and the shield are both on Swift, so they don't get a lucky break to get their skill back quickly. Meanwhile, the Shahad is pumping damage onto the enemy team, and Chow, once again, getting stronger and stronger, being the counterplay to these two units here. And the violent prop of Mendietta is absolutely insane. The Lamelia said, I'm out, bro. I'm going out. You don't have to kill me at all.
Yeah, Lamila had enough, she chose to go out on her own terms right there, just throwing that skill to obviously getting, I mean, not even that much damage, honestly, right? Like, there were shields and the monsters. Chao was still full health. Shaha lost like 25% health. And, I mean, the Bellatrix is still there. How is the Bellatrix still alive?
He went for the easiest to kill target, but got a little bit greedy in the end. While trying to monologuing about his evil plan now, he's paying the price, unfortunately. Classic plot for Daniel Karaoke.
Yeah, Mendy is going to be looking to take this game once again. The Chi, which is not doing enough, the Parceros here had a very good force pick on that Chi, and they also utilized their Angemon to pre-ban the Triton, which they would have had to pick otherwise.
Wait, there was Chi in the game? I didn't know that. Oh, there was a Chi in the game. Oh, sorry about that. I missed that entirely. It's not like that thing did anything, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't even block buff on the Bellatrix. Unbelievable. And I think Chao can probably hit the auto button from here. Chao, once again, proving to be one of the best shooters in the game, according to Evan.
Yeah, it really is. And with the Angela, there too, I mean, the Angela could probably almost solo these two, at this point with that reflect damage on the shield and, just being, super tanky, having a lot of minus fire on top of that. And this game is over. Chao is going to smack that pole out of existence, and Mendietta will take game 3. And Parceros so far 3-0 in this matchup, Evan.
Yeah, 3-0. It's looking real good for Parceros today. I love the emote on the way out from Daniel. That was really funny. Yeah, well done, Mendietta. I want to take this second to just remind folks, if you might be joining us a little bit later. So we've got a couple of Angelmon rules, right? So there's items that these teams can deploy after they assign their matchups in the bracket phase. One of them, which is the Water Angelmon, allows for a pre-ban. And in this case, no team can pick Triton, even if he appears. We've already seen that happen a couple times where he's been available, but nobody can pick it. Admittedly, though, that's probably to hedge against a force pick, because the Fire one makes the enemy team force pick a monster. And in this case, the Chiwu is the force pick. If he appears, you have to pick it. Sometimes it goes well for people, sometimes it doesn't. Today, it seems like Chiwu has not been going as well as, say, Kumar or Amali or something like that, because typically it's a little bit more narrow in focus, right, Topa? It doesn't really, it's not as flexible as those others.
It really is. Once again, Chiwu, Triton, obviously they have a very similar role of, turn 1 AoE CC, but we just don't have enough monsters in challenge mode. Even if you get the perfect box for the AoE CC, cleave play style, like, it's still not even like that reliable in this mode, because everything is just so tanky. We saw the Lamila there too, it's just not doing enough damage. Nothing is done in that monster. So, like, you can't really do this AoE cleave play style here at all.
It's a lot more challenging in challenge mode. That's for sure. Because ideally, right, you want the Chiwu to work for you, but it's a lot harder to make that happen. Luckily, it looks like this time nobody's going to have to worry about that. Guys, we're getting into Gab versus Varventus, the last match between these two teams. Take it away, guys.
Here we go. Varventus, the anchor for his team once again. Can he put at least 1 point on the board? I think if they actually walk away with like 0 points today, they have very low chance of making the top 4 in the playoffs, because they started today in the last place as well. So we'll see what Varventus can do. And Gap has first pick here, and it's going to be a Tessarian first pick, Sean.
That is the one to talk about for sure. And we'll talk about Chiwu on the side of Gap. The biggest flex right now will be Gap winning with a Chiwu in his team.
That would be quite something. But Varventus, on the other hand, has a lot of immunity options. He has both LDs that are immunity options, the Kovarcha and the Patter, which is the biggest counter Tessarian for sure, because obviously you can Oblivion those passives, but, well, you can't Oblivion them if there's immunity on top of the monsters.
All right, we got the Vanessa Chow, the draft that his teammate lost with, by the way, just saying, in the first game. But maybe with Kovaci and Peta this time around, this Chow and another damage dealer is going to be able to do something. So I think it's going to be like a Win Zenitsu Kovaci angle, looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, it could be Win Zenitsu. I think I prefer Diana over the Zenitsu, just being tankier in general. The Zenitsu dies to Tessarian pretty easily. You just go Oblivion, you don't even get your passive at all. I also have to go for a Shaha, as that's, even the tank is probably the most consistent damage, and probably pairs better with buffs, although Varventus is not picking up any buffs right now. There it is, we have the Kovarch locked in.
All right, we got the heavy win hitter for the Shiho and the Kovaci lock in for general support. Looking a very solid team for Varventus. No gap at all at the moment.
But that's what we also saw in the first match for Sappy. You know, his team looked pretty good, but then just got completely dismantled. And Gap does pick up that win twin that I was going to mention. Is definitely going to be a very strong pick here, having that AoE buff removal against the Kovaci, as well as, you know, some slows and stuns on the way.
And somehow he picked up the GOAT, the one and only Kumara, show up without being forced on anybody's hands at all. Kumara's going to have a lot of cleansing power as well as Oblivion for the Chow and the Shahad. And we got a double LD for Varventus over there. A lot of immunity at the same time as well.
We do like to see that. The double LD is the most LDs you can ever have in challenge mode, because Capsule does not count as one. And Varventus is utilizing both of them. The immunities are in there, so we'll see if he opts to go for the Wind Twin ban, just trying to limit the amount of buff removes, or maybe even the Kumar, as Kumar does remove buffs every single turn with that skill 1.
All right, locked in, waiting for the ban from these players. We have the Riley ban, we have the Chow ban. Shahad is going to stay on the field, and he's going to be the focus of Gap with the 2 fire damage dealer. This Shahad, with a lot of turn cycling, might work against him because immunity doesn't last forever. Just like, anyway, immunity doesn't last forever. Okay, so if he cycles a lot of turns, he might get out his own immunity very quickly.
Well, Kovaci does have very good uptime with that unit, but that could happen. I'm really surprised to see the Riley ban, as Shahad, maybe Varventus is anticipating a Shahad ban here, because Shahad does have heal block, and heal block is a pretty good counter with Riley. That skill 4 does not cleanse, but oh my goodness, the monkey is already dead, Sean.
The monkey is already on his way out, did not even do a single thing. Unlike the villager last game, this time, nobody's staying alive, being focused. So, Varventus showing Daniel Karaoke how to properly snipe a unit turn 1 right there. But after this, we got AoE control coming out, silence coming out, Oblivion coming out. But he missed the silence on the Vanessa. That is so important.
Yeah, that is a huge miss on the silence. The Vanessa is not built in max resistance mode either, so that's a very unlucky resist to have go through that. Kovaci is a max resistance, so not surprised to see that monster resisting, but it did already use that skill 3, so it doesn't have anything too impactful for a little bit. Just opts to go for a little bit of healing, trying to keep the Shah alive as long as possible.
All right, can Shah stay alive though? Can he stay alive? More damage incoming. Oh, AoE stun coming out. But it only landed on 1 target, the most important one.
Man, that Tessarian's not doing much damage. We see the power of the minus element artifacts right there. The Shah, I believe, has minus 22 fire. So Tessarian, even with the damage amp, is passing, even the speed buff, just barely scratching that Shah while it's being defense broken.
Hey, but Kumar's doing stuff though. Kumar going in, focusing on the Shah, doing the final hit right there. He needs to do another one of those so that he can finally bring another Shahad, and then he can slowly focus on the other support. But here comes the immunity from the Patter.
Patter getting a very nice Violent Proctor, getting the immunity and the protection on top of that Shahad. Needs to keep this monster alive. Well, Patter does have some damage, especially with the Vanessa defense break, but that defense break is not available. Would be a very nice Violent Proctor if he could get it, but does not get that. So damage is going to be lacking for a little bit on Varventus' side right now.
Oh, this is the turnaround moment for Varventus right there. He has been taking a lot of hit, waiting for this moment where he can get back on his immunity, and Shahad is not going down anytime soon. He is a very tanky bruiser unit, and he is doing solid hit on his Kumar as well.
Good damage there, right? But does proc out of that immunity once again. Not that it really probably matters. No, it probably does matter a little bit. Sorry. No, I think the Shah actually does let Tessarian. We see the speed advantage come into play here of that Vanessa, and, you know, even the turn 1 threat that it provided. And Patter just stunning the Tessarian now after Kumar already did use that cleanse.
Very unfortunate right there, and Patter is going to provide some healing as well. Kovaci almost back to the skill 3 for the immunity. Can also push the Patter into maybe a one-shot angle.
I was just about to mention that. Could go for the Patter. I believe it would outspeed the Kumar. Kumar still does have skill 3 actually available for another form of cleanse. And so that defense break won't be sitting on top of the Tessarian for very long, especially when he violent procs out of it. But that damage is not enough to take it out. I believe Kumar will be taking the Shah here though.
Oh, Shahat is going down. No silence on the Kovaci. There is silence on the Vanessa, so there's no defense break coming out anytime soon. So this Thessarian can live to see another day.
But that pattern damage is still hurting. The Thessarian is taking a beating here. The Kumar does not have a heal available yet. Varventus is trying to just reset, increase that cooldown even a bit further. He could boost up the pattern here for another skill too. It does less damage in this form, but it might probably not going to be able to take out the Thessarian. It's going to be close though.
Here we go. The clock is ticking. He is going for the AoE transformation, and he did not get any provoke. Here comes the strip. Oh my god! The turnaround once again with the AoE strip and slow on the enemy team, doing a lot of damage to Varventus.
Yeah, Varventus did not keep track of cooldowns right there. He should have just used the patter skill too to potentially take out the Thessarian. Maybe wouldn't have taken it out. By the way, he just transformed the patter, leaves the bonus being stunned as well. Windwind obviously to have those skills available. So patter is going to be out of commission for a while here. It is slowed, it is stunned, and I think that was kind of the turnaround here. Kumar now getting that heal, and Gav's team is looking pretty healthy. Varventus did bring back the Shahat there with the Vanessa revive, but I mean, Shahat's not going to last very long here.
Oh my god, this game is like back to the first couple turns where Shah was still on the field with the Vanessa revive, but then Shah is about to go down once again. Kumar keep turning the game around. Would not let Gab lose at all, even with a little bit funny RNG in between. But now we're back with immunity coming out very soon from both Pata and Kovaci. And the defense is coming. The defense break landed, but Ventus going in with the slap.
Boom! Patter just maxed the Thessarian out of here, and once again, I mean, we're kind of back to favoring Varventus now, I believe, because now Gab's damage is very limited. Thessarian is only for a defense break here. Without defense break, it's going to be very difficult to kill these monsters. The Kumar keeps missing the silence on the Kovarchi as well here, and I believe Varventus will be once again, you know, the man that his team needs here and bring home a point for the team.
Varventus the GOAT. He brought 1 point to the team today. A sliver of hope for the team in the next round, maybe. If everybody start losing left and right, maybe Skit Sun will have a small shot sneaking in.
They definitely still have a chance to make it in. You know, obviously it kind of depends on other matchups. They are only going to be at 7 points, I believe. Right now the cutoff to top 4 is 8 points, so it's not much above that. But obviously those teams have not played yet, other than Parceros, which are now looking at least 3 points they've already secured. I mean, I'll be very surprised to see Gab turns this around, as Kumar damage does get lower as time goes on as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kumar damage is not helping the situation with the defense coming from Vanessa, and Vanessa with attack buff can actually do very solid damage. And Pata skill 1 scale with attack, if I'm not wrong.
It does. Obviously, most skills in the game do scale with attack. Some have additional scaling as well. But there's that defense break setup sitting on top of Kumar. And Patter is primed and ready for another meal.
Ooh, and the Kovaci can even do some good damage. And here we go. Another big old slap. Pop. And the Kumar's gone. GG, Varventus will take the last game from Gab.
Wow, dude. Wow, Varventus coming in clutch, getting the point when his team needed it. We knew he could do it, Topa. Varventus just has a knack for doing stuff like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very well drafted by Varventus, and you know his draft did end up working out there. He had a bit more protection. Well, Sappy did draft 2 forms of protection, the Angela and the Riley, but those were a lot more susceptible, or the Riley was a lot more susceptible to being controlled, as we saw by that Erection. Just got Despair Stand and didn't do a whole lot. Varventus drafting that Patter, obviously unstunnable monster in that Druid form right there, as well as the Kovarchi for that, you know, Swift Kovarchi for that turn 1 protection. Just allowed him to, you know, keep his team protected long enough to take out that Shiho. I mean, even snipe the Shiho. Like, yeah, it was a snipe comp better than the one before.
It's true. Yeah, dude, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I thought that there was a moment there where Varventus was very much losing. You know, it was a combination of things. It was the moment when Thessarian procced into a defense break kill on the Shahat, and then we got the immediate AoE stun right after that from the Wind Twin Angels. But kudos to him. But through persistence and also belief in Pater's skill too, he took it to go. He got the point that he needed. That was so stellar. Great turnaround. That was some fun challenge mode there. Here is our updated leaderboard. So we've got Parceros up there with 11 total points. They got 3 very admirable 3 points today, and Skit's Sons down there got 1 point, placing them tied for 5th. Now remember, there is still one more opportunity for every team to earn points after today. This is week 4 of a 5-week round robin before we go into the tournament bracket proper. So it's getting close, but it's not completely over for the teams that might be outside of the placement for this. Yeah, Sean, that was a great game. Any thoughts on that one coming out of it?
I mean, I think right now they're in a very tough spot. At least they got 1 point, so it doesn't look that depressing just yet. They really need to pray for the downfall of Good Luck Have Fun. That's for sure. They need Good Luck Have Fun to have no fun, like 0 points, so that they can have a chance next week to come back from this position.
It's true, dude. That's honestly it. It's pray for their downfall, and also for a code 2026 America Summit ×4. That's the code that you could type in to get some energy and mana, foreshadowing another one down the line as well, guys. Again, if you happen to be on Android, you can type that in the coupon code section that is inside the events page. And if you're on iOS, our fantastic mods are going to post the link that you can interact with to get that as well. And just keep your eyes peeled on the chat, because, you know, we typically have more of those where they came from. That was the first matchup of the day. We have 2 more matchups to look forward to. So make sure to stick around, but we're going to be right back after a short break. See you right back here in a second. Hello, everyone, and welcome back from break. We are back at it again at the Americas Summit. We just saw 1/3 of the games that we're going to be having today. So now we get to look forward to our next matchup, Topa.
Yeah, and that matchup will be skills over bills and good luck, have fun. So good luck, have fun. You know, they are currently tied last place. Obviously, they haven't played their games today. Meanwhile, Skitsons have, but they definitely do need those points if they do want to make the playoffs.
And like you were saying before break, Sean, some folks out there should be praying for good luck, have fun's downfall.
Yep, good luck and have no fun, that's for sure. So they're definitely praying for skill over bills to be the dominating team in this round here, because there is a very good possibility that good luck, have fun might not get a single point. So that next week when Skitson plays again, they will have a small chance of climbing into the top 4.
Exactly. Yes, there is still a glimmer of hope at the end of this, and that's week 5 of round robin. So even if they don't get what they need today, they can still get it next week. There they are. Good luck, have fun. From the space station over there. You can hear them chatting away, talking strategy, figuring out where they want to go, who wants to lead the charge in match 1. If you might be joining us a little bit later, what's happening here is this is our bracket, and it's currently empty. And the people who choose the matchups are the teams themselves. They get to decide what team members they want to go against whom. You can think of it as a pick ban phase, but with no ban and for people instead of monsters. Following this, we're going to see if these teams want to use any of their 3 designated items. They've got a Devilmon where they can last minute swap a player matchup. They have a Water Angelmon that allows them to pre-ban any monster. And they also have a Fire Angelmon that allows them to force their enemy team to pick a monster if it shows up in their selection. Very powerful. So given what we've seen today, Topa, would you recommend that these teams stick to Chiwu as their force pick?
Yeah, I think Chiwu is a pretty solid force pick, but we might see the meta evolving even further. Obviously, we saw the Triton be very successful
it would be
and we saw the players adapt
myself
to
and Vinny
pre-banning the Triton so that they don't have to pick it. So maybe we're seeing, some 3D chess being played here. The Chiwu is going to be one team's like ban monster now, pre-ban, so they won't need to pick it, and then maybe go to a step beyond, right? But I don't really know what that third monster would be that then they would want to like the other team to be force picking. As we saw, skills over bills, I believe, were the ones that forced the Kumar on the opponents last week, and that backfired about as bad as it could.
Yeah, big time. All that did is make a lot of us into believers for Kumar. Like Sean, I know we keep chatting about it, dude, but I actually think Kumar is kind of goated.
Pero, o sea, lo podemos
Kumar
cancelar.
provide a whole of utility for the team, but I think you kind of need to be paired with some sort of real damage, because even though Kumar can do some respectable damage, he's still not like a hard carry, like those actual damage dealer for the end game. So when you pick Kumar, you gotta be careful to not pick into a full support draft thinking Kumar is gonna be a damage dealer.
True that. Okay, so we've got most of our matches populated. We got a Little Jenny versus Dark Garchomp, Pac-Man John versus True Whale, the other team captain, aside from Little Jenny, Orkut versus Vinny, and then Amante Bandido versus Jeff Boladao in matchup 4. So now, in the back end here, we're going to have our refs check to see if these teams want to pre-ban a monster or force their enemy team to force pick a monster if it were to appear in their selection, and we'll keep you posted on that as we move forward here. So yes, guys, I think we are kind of seeing like a trend towards like what monsters are the ideal force pick, which ones are the ideal force ban. To be honest, I was so impressed with like how much Chiwu hindered things, Topa, that I would personally say that they should first pick or force pick a Chiwu again.
Yeah, I mean, Chiwu, same thing as Triton we saw last week. It's just basically the match is a 3v4, and I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big disadvantage if you're fighting a 3v4, right? We saw kind of in that last match there as well, Varventus was able to snipe that Water Monkey turn 1, and it turned into kind of a 3v4 situation for Gab in that game, and ultimately Gab ended up losing it, right? It's very difficult to come back from a 3v4 deficit.
Dang Skippy it is, dude. Yeah, now with that said, so Sean, I asked you about which one you'd want to do for force picking, but what about pre-banning? Is there a monster that you'd like to have pre-banned?
I think it's really hard because you don't really know whether you're going to get the monster or the enemy is going to get the monster. So if you pre-ban a strong monster, you might not be able to play it. You pre-ban a weak monster, then that is literally just to counter the red Angelmon. So there are some very high performing monster like the Water Gojo, for example, the Light Hwarang, for example, but it is always a gamble whether that's going to work for you or against you.
Yeah, dude, because, my mind went to Werner as well, right? Like, he's super powerful. We've been through this. It's like, he is extremely well optimized. Like, and the damage that comes out of that Werner is something that you're unlikely to see at home. I couldn't make a Werner like that if I tried. And it's been fantastic. So pre-banning it, I could definitely see the validity to that, so that way you don't have to fight against it. However, if I happen to get it on my side, I'd really like to have it in my pick ban phase. And that's the problem there, chat, is pre-bans are symmetrical. So far, chat, we have had one code only, that 2026 America's Summit ×4. And that's going to be in chat already. And again, if you are on Android, you can just type that into the events page. At the very bottom, there's a coupon code portion where you can type that in. If you're on iOS, you can interact with the link, or you can go to the With Hive page and type it in, as well as your in-game name and your server, to redeem the energy and the mana. And that's just the beginning. We're going to have another one down the line, so make sure to stay tuned and have fun with us. There's skills over bills. Look at that, bro is still on the beach, Topa. I love it.
Yeah, he is, but what is not going to be in this match is a Triton, as both teams have actually chosen the pre-ban Triton. And Skills Over Bills is making GLHF force pick the Chiwu, and GLHF is making Skills Over Bills force pick the Molly. So they're going back to their last week's strategies of forcing the opposing team to pick a Molly. Didn't work out too well for them, but it also wasn't like the worst thing. They have a Chiwu that they have to fight against a Molly. Now, last week it was a Triton against the Molly, so maybe it's a slightly better matchup. We did see one Chiwu against the Molly already, and
wow,
it didn't work out so well. I believe there was also a Devilmon being used. Yeah, GLHF also used Devilmon, and they switched the matchup of the first and second matches.
This is arguably the most changes that we've ever seen in a match so far in the America's Summit. So much just changed in the back end. They are using their items to full effect right now. So yeah, typically when I see the pre-ban on the Triton there, Topa, I kind of think of it as a whiff if no one is forcing anybody to force pick anything.
Yeah, see, it's kind of evolving, right? Like, people have kind of figured out that, like, okay, Triton's probably going to be pre-banned, so we don't want to force the Triton on them because it's going to be a wasted force pick. And arguably, the force pick is a lot stronger than the pre-ban, right? Because once again, we talking about the pre-ban being symmetrical, right? You don't really want to use that on a strong monster because you might end up just hurting yourself.
Exactly. And there we go. So the changes have been reflected here. And now we got a showdown between the team captains for Skills Over Bills, and have fun and good luck, have fun here. And a Little Jenny and True Whale now showing down in match 1. This is getting pretty exciting, guys. Again, so just to walk it through again. So if Good Luck Have Fun sees a Chiwu, they got to pick a Chiwu. If there's a Triton, no one can pick it. And Skills Over Bills is going to have to play with Molly. Now, I'm kind of a fan of the Light Mermaid these days, seeing that performance, but we'll see what happens here as we get into the pick ban phase. It's a Little Jenny versus True Whale. Topa and Sean, take it away.
And I don't see a Chiwu on the board. I mean, Chiwu's on the wrong side of the board, and no Molly. So no force picks, no force bans, except for that Triton, obviously. Triton cannot be played. Other than that, anything is free.
I feel like at this point, like the best force pick might be Lamelia, seeing how bad she's been performing in every matchup that she got drafted in. And she just managed to not do enough most of the time.
Yeah, it might be. What's also not doing a whole lot is that Wind Monkey. That's another monster that I maybe would even consider putting in that force space. It's probably something that, those two monsters are something that maybe your opponent wouldn't really see coming. As they're traditionally very strong RTA monsters, but in challenge mode, they just are really not performing. But we also kind of thought that about Kumar, and then Kumar popped off, and he is being picked here as well.
I think the reason for Kumar might be for the Pater, because you can silence the Pater, but you can't stun him properly. So maybe that's the reason for the Kumar. Also make a pretty nice triple RGB lined up there. But I would probably prefer the Fire Paw over Kumar, seeing how he can easily take something out.
Well, you'd think that he'd easily take something out, but we saw Daniel try that with the Shiho, especially to the Shiho Fireball combo, was not able to take out the Velodru, which is arguably, or it is one of the squishiest monsters in challenge mode, HP-wise. Still quite high on that HP. What's not super high on the HP is that Werner, but Werner has been performing super well. Triple picking up that Shiho to maybe try and counter that a little bit. Now going for a Riley for even more sustain, as Lil Jenny doesn't really have any sustain at all, except for Patter, very, very small passive healing.
And there it is, the Firepaw getting picked up right there together with the Riley for the healing. Riley is one of the most popular healer in the challenge mode due to Water Gandalf leaving the scene. So she got to really feel the role for that one.
I really would have preferred Angela over the Riley here, though, as Lil Jenny does already have a Shot Hat, which does have Heal Block, and Heal Block does counter Riley's skill 4 and potentially the skill 3, because as it only does cleanse 1 debuff. And the Shot Hat does put a that heal block as well as dots, so you're already gambling in getting the right cleanse with that skill 3. So I think Angela would just be a bit better in that slot.
That is one of the big thing about playing challenge mode for these professional G3 gamer, is that they don't have the LD5 that they're so used to using. Like if for True Whale, maybe in that spot a Seimei could have been perfect, but too bad there's no Seimei for you. So you gotta really look into a healer. And when you don't really play with these RGB units a whole lot, you kind of forget what they do. So they might not be able to get the most optimized draft.
Either way, I guess the Riley is still good enough, and that is being respect banned out. What is not respect banned out is that Chao, Jenny's last pick, is actually making it through in the battlefield. I mean, Chao is going to be quite a menace here, as he cannot heal block that monster, and it will go right through the Shiho. So the Shiho might go down unexpectedly fast, and there's not much to deal with Chao after that. Actually, there's Kumar Oblivion, so there is some chance to deal with this Chao.
Here we go, guys. A Little Jenny and True Whale both having #1 in their rank, but we are witnessing the rank 1 player playing challenge mode right here. The damage is going to be focused onto the Pater, doing huge amount of damage, but is it going to be enough? Another layer of damage. He needs to let the pushback onto the Pater. Can he? He will do enough, but once again, it is not going to be enough damage to take out the Pater.
He does get the pushback. I think I almost would have liked to see him go for the defense break there, because I believe if the defense break had landed on top of that Patter, the Kumar would have been able to take it out with a skill 1 right there, as it was already moving. So the glowing attack bar. And this is another thing where Eretion is not so dominant in the challenge mode. It has no additional damage whatsoever. So that skill 2 do like 500 damage a hit, like absolutely nothing.
And we here see the Shizuka effectiveness, permanently protecting the Pater from any further damage, controlling the entire enemy team, paving a new path for a Little Jenny team.
Chao also getting a bottom proc right there, so already has Justice up, and this Shiho won't go down to 1 more Justice, but I mean, it is getting dangerously low. No Kumar Violent proc to cleanse the poor Eretion here to get that AoE buff removal off of that skill 3, and now Patter is getting the provokes and transformation coming through.
Oh, Shizuka with the skill 2 can potentially reduce cooldown of the Patter for faster skill 3. And Shio has just no way to dodge the coming damage with this Chao skill 2. Here we go.
Skill 2 is coming. Once again, it probably won't quite take out the Shiho, but I mean, Kumar heal is only single target, and actually this Shaha might already finish the job, or is he going to confirm the kill on the Eretion?
Oh, he's going to choose a target. Which one is it going to be? It will be the shield eating. Oh, barely enough. And the Kumar coming clutch with the AoE cleanse right there, taking away all the dodge. But is that going to be enough to keep the shield alive? The shield will have protection and have a chance to kill the Patter as well.
Killing the Patter here, I'm not unsure about the attack burst, but I believe Eretion does not move in front of Shizuka, but actually Shizuka won't have enough damage to take out Eretion either way. So Eretion will get a skill 3 off, getting some nice true damage, as well as buff removing, but actually Fireball already removes that immunity on top of the Shahat, so there's not many buffs left for Eretion to remove at this point, so might just go for a defense break.
But hey, don't be fooled. You might be thinking Shura has a shot at this, but there is a Chao waiting, getting stronger every single turn with every single death. He is getting stronger as well. So this Kumar better really carry this match with the healing.
Kumar could also carry the match by Oblivioning this Chao right. Ooh, does get a bottom proc. Oblivion the Chao, and then Shiho can actually stun the Chao, as he won't have the passive to self-cleanse. This might keep the Shiho alive and true in the match. The Chao is stunned, but nothing else is stunned.
Oh my god, the Chao is actually being controlled by the Kumar. The Prophet is talking about his day. And further control is coming out. The heel block finally work on Chao as well. Not looking good for Chao at all. The despair stun, everything is looking terrifying. But no! Chao said, nah, not today, baby. He woke up. He's going straight for the shield to take it down.
Yeah, he can get Oblivion, but that does not prevent violent procs. That is not a sealed debuff. So Chao just procs right out of that and crushes Shiho's dreams of staying alive in this match. Just takes it out. Now Firepole does have skill 3 available. It won't do a whole lot on the shot as it does have a lot of minus fire, but can't really go for any other target as if you do glance, you deal no extra damage with that skill 3.
Oh no, the window is closing slowly for good luck, have fun right there. Chao back on being clean, being clean from all the debuff, nasty debuff coming out from Kumar right there. And remember, Shizuka is a force to be reckoned with. If she get another skill 3 out, it could be very dangerous for True Whale.
It's already very dangerous for True Will, just with that Chao. Like, he kind of needs Oblivion, this Chao, but he also kind of needs Kumar to heal, and he also kind of needs Kumar to silence. Like, this Kumar, you just take like 3 turns every turn, and well, that is obviously not possible, but what is possible is this Chao taking 2 turns every turn, as it keeps violent proccing. Does get some glances there, but still, that is a good damage coming through.
Oh, missing the dot right there. That is kind of important. And this Wind Dragon Warrior will have another shot at using a skill 3 for this spare stun. But he is going to go for the defense break. He wants to take this Chao down because the moment the Chao is down, Shua has a very good chance of winning. But can he do it?
Hold up. Rice is recognizing here that Chao is going to be the problem. That might be the last turn that Erection takes it as the pattern comes back. No, Erection lives with 1 health. And now he kind of has to, once again, you kind of have to Oblivion the Chao, but you also kind of have to heal your Erection, and then you also kind of need to punch the Chao even more to get more damage in. It's just too many turns that Kumar needs to take. Opts to go for that heal, but that means that Chao is now going to be cleansed that defense break off.
Another coin flip for the Chao. Can he get a crit on his Erection? If he does, it's going to be a W, but no, once again losing the coin flip onto the Erection. But big despair stun onto the Shizuka right there from True Whale.
Or if you're not getting enough cycle with that skill 2 doesn't move in front of the Kumar, that would have been huge to potentially get that defense break on the Chao. But now he has to Oblivion this Chao. Does get the Oblivion, does get the violent proc. That could take out the Shaha, or does he just look to pummel more damage into the Chao?
Oh, looking really good. Here's a small window to despair stun this Chao. Can he do it? This might be the moment for True Whale to take this game home. He's looking, he's waiting, he's going in, he get a defense break, he did not get the despair stun, but what if this fireball goes
will it glance, will
he's
it
going
glance?
in!
It glances!
Can the Chao shake it off like last time?
Oh,
Will he do it?
If the fireball didn't glance, that Chao might be dead because it didn't violent proc. Kumar might still have the damage. This is a crit damage Kumar. I know he goes for the healing. I think you almost want to go for the damage at that point. The ratio is kind of optional at this point, it feels like. Goes for that skill 3 now too, just using it right before the Shizuka skill 3 is up. Just praying for dispersants. Needs to be high rolling at this point to win this game.
Oh, she get a little bit of attack bar right there. Here's a moment to stun the Chao. Can he do it? He will not get a stun on the Chao. Chao get another justice, but without the pass, the damage is going to be a bit lacking right there. He needs to survive this turn so that he can get another skill 3 out. Little Jenny shaking, scared. Double water against double fire, but this is the GOAT Kumar.
Can he silence the Shizuka? Does get the silence of Shizuka, but I can't help but wonder if he used that Kumar to punch the Chao instead of heal the Reshion. I think the Chao would have been dead. It might still work out fine. I don't... is Chao gonna move? Oh, the pushback. Wait, the pushback. The stun. Kumar's moving from. Chao's gonna go down. I think True Whale actually has this.
True Whale closing in on the victory. And he is going to get it. Chao is finally down. That might be a GG. The GOAT Kumar fire over water bending logic. That is True Whale.
Wow, that is incredible. I thought he was out of this match quite a while ago, to be honest. But no, Kumar is actually just the GOAT. This Fireball, on the other hand, just keeps glancing. Not really much. Shizuka does get another skill 3 off. That's a lot of debuffs. They're only 1 turn. Protection is a couple turns, but I mean, the Soul Revive, so the Revive skill 2 doesn't really have that good of a target here. Chao, no skill 2, no passive. The damage is turn be lacking.
Unfortunately, this might be it for little Jenny. True Whale will start his team with a very crazy W here, coming back from what we thought was impossible. Beautiful play by True Whale.
Dude, that was incredible. Topa, that was low-key my favorite game I think we've seen so far, actually. That was so fun to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that is definitely the match of the summit so far. That was an incredible game. I thought Kuba was out of that so many times, so many occasions. I thought it was over, but somehow that Erection just kept getting glanced on by the Chow. The Erection hung on, and the Kumar heals were just coming through, and eventually got the Oblivion, got that damage, and wow, I mean, it's still just kind of unbelievable how Chuba won that game, but very well played.
Yeah, and dude, the perfectly timed debuffs every moment, the perfectly timed Oblivions in tandem with the stun to keep the Chows down. Sean, the Kumar agenda is getting pushed further and further by the minute.
It is indeed, and that's why Kumar is one of the most popular units for siege defense, because a lot of strong siege offense are all water-based, passive-based team, and somehow a fire unit like Kumar, and also shout out to Fire Yennefer, is dominating the siege defense scene because they Oblivion these water unit and shut down their powerful passive.
Oh yeah, dude, the Fire Yennefer as well. Very good Tarnisha, important shout out there. Yeah, auto critting on skill 1 with Oblivion. Turns out that's really good and almost makes it seem like he's at parity or elemental advantage all the time. Turns out he's a spectacular option. Here we go, guys. Pac-Man John versus Dark Guard Chomp. We're heading into the second game between these two teams. Topa and Sean, take it away.
Oh boy, I see a Chiwu. Dark Guard Chomp has to pick that Chiwu up at some point, and there's no Molly on Pac-Man's side, so Dark Guard Chomp definitely going to be on the back foot here. Opts to open for Erection, so he's going to be forced into a double speed, double AoE buff remover, which sounds very good on paper, but in challenge mode, that's usually not that good.
But we shall see. And once again, Pac-Man is rocking that Werner, that water Gojo right there, together with Kovachi. So we got a very high damage water Gojo with a ton of buff on his hand. But Dark Guard Chomp is going in with the double Draken Warrior, together with a very strong follow-up that is the Karno as well.
Yeah, so it definitely has one of the strongest AoE CC boxes here with, the Cardinal, the Soul of Arc, the Reshion. That Chibu has to be picked up. I hope he doesn't forget about that, because that's going to be a forfeit match otherwise. And GLHF, although they did take the first game there in the first point, they do need every point they can get their hands on.
All right, we got the Wind Pudding getting picked up together with a Verd. I think you mentioned this Verd is actually on Triple Revenge, and that looks pretty good against Dark Guard Chomp.
Yeah, this Triple Revenge 100 resistance as well. I believe a lot of most of these units are near max accuracy. I believe the Cardinal is 80% accuracy on skill 3 after artifacts, so it's not quite max accuracy, but pretty close to that 100 res Verd. It's quite unimpactful here, and maybe Dark Guard Chomp is going to round out the draft with a Chow looking for that solo potential, and he does. He does have 2 forms of defense break, so on defense break, this Chow is going to be hurting.
Chow is staying true to the potential man name though, because he was supposed to carry the last game, but he did not. I think Kumar last pick is looking really strong here for the cleanse and also the Oblivion on the Chow.
Yeah, it might be a Kumar, that Chow's worst enemy. And so far, Kumar has really been skills for Bill's Kryptonite as well. We'll see if they pick up the Kumar themselves. Maybe Chow, or maybe Kumar has converted them, but no. Opts to go for a Water Twin here instead for a speed lead, which is quite interesting as it's still going to be getting outsped by Dark Guard Chomp's Chibu, unless the Chibu is actually getting banned out here.
I think Water Twin is probably one of those more underused, underperformed unit in the challenge mode for these players so far. We don't see that unit draft very often. So I wonder what is gonna be the outcome of this Water Twin draft here, because she is, or they are, staying on the field.
Ooh, it's a Kovarchi ban. I would have expected Dark Guard Chomp to ban out the Angela here, as his main control is the Soul Bark and being a water monster, and if the Soul Bark is banned out, then your main damage is Chow. So dealing with the Angela is going to be quite problematic here. Maybe Arnold can do it. The Chibu taking turn 1, it does miss on the Water Twins, however.
And here comes the Water Twin first turn. What kind of impact can she bring to the table? It will be a defense break onto the Water Dragon Warrior, but did not get enough bar for the Verner to get a turn. It will get a turn soon enough though, because this unit cannot lose attack.
That's very good turn order on the Verner, as it does move just after the Erection here, so now we can use that skill to get immunity on some. Oh, it procs out of that immunity. It's being controlled, but it doesn't really matter when you control the opponent instead. And the Soulvark is getting stunned. We'll see how much this Cardinal can really do here. Going into shield is off to go for skill 2 instead.
Get some
And
attack
another
bar.
violent proc. What?
Did he get a quad stun though? You mentioned it's going to be 80 accuracy. And here we go. Missed the most important one. The Vert double crit with glancing. What a turn event for Pac-Man.
Yeah, missed not only the most important one, but missed everyone. And so far, this Burner is the CC monster in the game, as it's constantly stunning this Soulbark here. And the Water Twins showing why they're being picked up as well, getting that critical stun right there. Now Angela has skills available, so I really would like to see Angela ban here. Eresher does have skills too, you know, does get stun on Angela, maybe taking it back, but that passive still activates even while under stun.
And the skill 1 stun, the AoE damage, it is too much for Dark Gacham to handle, especially when his combo did not manage to get the first turn that he needed, and he's getting AoE control instead. As an AoE control team, that is his worst nightmare, because he needs to move to do anything. Meanwhile, Pac-Man doesn't actually have to take a proper turn because there's so much passive going on between as well.
And that Soulbark has yet to take a single actual turn. It's been stunned the entire game and it's about to leave the battlefield here. Might have one more chance to violent proc here, but it is looking very bleak for Dark Archon once again. And the Chibu, man, Chibu cannot catch a break, cannot get a W on the board today.
Yeah, Chiu is looking real tough, because the biggest selling point for Chiu is like the strip into glancing, but the glancing actually did not work on Vert properly. And oh, hold up!
Wait a second.
Wait a minute! Dark Gacham with a double via wombo combo.
Here comes Soulbark with the skill 3, getting the pushback, getting the silence on the Birdhound. It matters, but does not get revenge in the process. That does matter. As now the Pac-Man John's team is being controlled a little bit here. Angela not quite taking that out, but there's not much more control. Angela taking a 2-turn sleep.
But controlling a Vert and a Angela is definitely not an easy task. And also there is a Water Twin, which can also AoE stun if you want, they want to. So it is still quite a problem for Dark Gacham. The game is not over yet.
Well, Pac-Man John is like, how did that Soulbark live? That Soulbark didn't even see the HP bar in it. Bird hit it even before going optimally not go for the crits, just going for that damage. Does not get the kill, but the twins are fast enough to outpace the Soulbark, getting the kill and stunning everyone else on the field. What?
What is that? Beautiful display of the Water Twin skill 2. Got a slight buff in the previous balance match, if I'm not wrong, to boost the stun chance to be a little bit more consistent. So I think Pac-Man is still in this game, because how do you ever control an Angela and a Vert? Oh, I mean you can, but I mean you can't. Double AoE despair stun into what was that again?
Into a cleanse, into a violent proc, and now no matter what Cardinal does, he's going to be leaving the battlefield due to the Angela reflex damage pass. Oh, stuns everything. Okay, could have done that turn 1, maybe would have had a different game. That's too little, too late, Cardinal, as he does go out with that skill 3 as well. And now there's, I mean, defense break. He can do 1,000 damage a hit with that ratio. Chibu can do a little bit of damage with the guaranteed crit on the skill 2, but it's not going to take out the Angela. She's going to be cleansing that, building herself up. And this game is over. Pac-Man John is definitely going to be taking the W.
Yeah, Pac-Man is giving Dark Gacham the good old Water Gandalf treatment, even without the Water Gandalf on the field, with a constant heal, cleanse, shield, and reflect damage from the Wind Pudding.
Yeah, your Chibu taking one more turn. Could get some damage on the Angela. Maybe if a crit doesn't have damage, but no ups. Go for a sleep on the bird. Does not connect, and backfire once more. Angela healing back up even more, and I think our Dark Jump could get him at this point, but you know, maybe we want to save a little bit of time and just exit stage left. But either way, he's still in this match and dragging it out to the bitter end.
It's kind of funny how the Wind Dragon Warrior is bringing back triple revenge Vert in a way that's kind of nostalgic as well.
Wow, well done, Pac-Man John. Yeah, Topa, that was that was kind of back and forth for a little bit, but like Yeah, towards the end, you look at that board and you're just like, how do you come back from this?
Yeah, there was that chance the Cardinal did get that bottom proc into Solvark bottom proc, but ultimately Solvark got controlled for far too long. And the Cardinal didn't really perform turn 1. He got 0 stuns turn 1. The second time it used that skill to stunned everything. But, you know, at that point, it was already just too much of a deficit for him to come back from.
Yeah, and Sean, the one thing that I would also compliment Dark Garchomp is that, you know, Chiwu is obviously kind of proving to be a little bit of a hindrance for the team. I like that he tried to play with the Chiwu, and he's like, okay, I'm going to bring a couple other AoE strip options and something to do afterwards. I thought that was pretty cool.
Indeed, but it's just really hard when the strip doesn't really have a lot of impact because it's not on the spare or something like that, and the glancing doesn't really stay for too long because of the Angela, and also the Verge just kind of ignore that debuff altogether in this particular match. And that beautiful Water Twin last pick providing so much control for the Pac-Man John was devastating for Dark Garchomp.
Exactly. Yeah, you put that very eloquently. Yeah, it was devastating. And also Topa highlighting that Solvark spent a lot of the game just kind of just stunned, didn't actually get to contribute too much. It was definitely a tough game. We'll see what Orkut and Vinny can do for us. Of course, the pre-ban still withstanding, as well as the force pick, which is proving to be a thorn in the side for anybody who is forced to pick Chiwu. Poor Chiwu. He's catching so many strays today, Topa. I don't know if his reputation is ever going to recover from this.
Yeah, they might not, but Vinny was the person last week that did get the W with the Triton. He was forced to pick the Triton last week, and he got the win with it. So if anyone can get a win with Chiwu, it would probably be this man. Well, I guess we'll see as we get in this match. And the Chiwu is not in his box, so Vinny is not being constrained by anything like that.
And also, we haven't seen the Molly at all on anyone's team. So Molly, even though it's being force picked on the side of Orkut, we just don't see the unit. And first pick is going to be the Kovaci.
Kovaci first, but we do have a double LD matchup here. But yeah, once again, no Molly. You know, those LD4s, they're super rare. There's a Kinky in this mode as well. I don't think we've seen a single Kinky in anyone's box the entire day. So those LD4s, I don't know the exact logic once again on these, you know, the construction of these 14 monsters, the decks. But the LD4s and LD5s are obviously pretty rare in those. So interesting to see that GLHF ran it back with that Molly force pick.
Oh, we can see the meta being shaped up right there with the Shahat and the Water Gojo being picked up against Vinny. A lot of damage, a lot of turn cycling right there. How is Vinny going to deal with it? Because we kind of need some hard counterplay, but he doesn't really have it. He's going to go for the Shiho for the turn 1 stun on the Kovaci, maybe, and the Dyna as well.
Yeah, Shiho's not very consistent stun the Kovaci because it's a 50 accuracy Shiho against a 100 res Kovaci. Might just be looking to pick up the Shiho for that additional damage and how much it does against Werner. We've seen this matchup multiple times where Shiho actually can take out half of Werner's health in turn 1. Also picking up that Dyna obviously pretty strong into the AoEs of the Water Werner. You know, the Wind Monkey has been quite disappointing, but Dyna can do a lot of damage and obviously get those turn cyclings in.
All right, we might be witnessing a Dark Monkey last week right there, seeing that Orkut is lacking immunity if we ban out the Kovaci, but he's going to go for the Dark Monkey right there for the big control.
Yeah, Dark Monkey, I think Tessarian also would have been kind of fine. Dark Monkey is probably more aggro, does have AoE defense breaks as well, so sets up for a lot more damage. But with this last pick, you're kind of forced to ban out the Kovaci. Well, Dark Monkey does have buff removal on the skill too as well, so maybe could let it in, and that because the Angela is going to be very annoying here.
All right, it's going to be the Dark Monkey ban. It is going to be a Automail ban so that the Dyna can actually transform and not get cut and despair stun in the face.
Dude, that's very well banned by Vinny. I think he definitely won the bans here, as now the Dyna is fully free and you don't really care about the immunity when you have a Dyna on the board, just, you know, transforming and constantly removing all of those buffs. We'll see if Dyna has the opportunity to do that though, as Shaha is going to be looking to shut it down.
All right, Shio going first. Which one is it going to be? It will be the shot. Oh, it is almost 50% of this unit health. He's really focused on the high defense stat. No wonder he does so much damage in this challenge map.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we've seen this matchup over and over. Shiho not getting the stun this time is quite unlucky, as now Werner can get the AoE damage in, and you're having this awkward turn with Diana where you can't really do a whole lot. Probably wants to shield up here so that there's another buff on the pattern, and increasing the chances that it gets silenced here by the Shahat.
Oh, we got a shield being picked up by the Diana, which means this dot damage is going to not hurt a whole lot unless he break the shield. He could not break the shield, and he's waiting for that moment next turn.
Yeah, Orchid wisely saving the skill too with the Shaha here, knowing that it's probably going to miss on the, or highly likely that he's going to miss that skill too on the patter. So option just to keep it and then use the silence at a later time when patter has already used its skills, or if he doesn't use its skills, then he can silence the patter. So then he's kind of forced into using that skill 3 cleanse immunity from the patter, but now the Shaha is free to silence, so there's no more cleanse.
All right, we got the self-buffing from the Kovaci, getting the consistent immunity buff. And the Werner is getting the skill 2 back very, very soon, but he also exposed himself to damage at the moment. If that Dyna get a violent proc, it could be dicey for Awkward.
It really could be. Shio missing the stun once again on the Werner. The Werner, not being put down, but he is getting increased cooltime on. And Vanessa also getting violent proc. Could look to defense break something here, although there's still a lot of problems in these monsters.
Oh, went through Kovaci, trying to get a snipe right there because you know that if he defense breaks, the Water Gojo is going to be cleansed by the Angela anyway, but that beautiful silence is going to stop any further damage coming from the Diana.
Diana can only look to stun this Werner here now, which would be very impactful as Werner doesn't have skill that Vanessa reset. But Werner still obviously going to be very high pressure with the turn cycling. Does now stun the Diana as well. Not that it really matters because she was silent anyways, but still nice to see.
Oh, we got a stun onto the Werner, but the protection of this Angela is very effective. Vinny cannot seem to find a window to break through. Meanwhile, his unit is dying slowly.
And the Shaha damage is just compounding here. And Vanessa, another nice violent proc, but once again, there's still at least two buffs in every single monster. So getting that defense break is going to be less than a coin toss chance. He actually removes the correct buff, but gets resisted on the defense break. That is heartbreaking.
All right, let's see the damage. The damage looking better and better over time with the shield skill 3 onto the Werner. If he's not careful, he might lose the unit immediately.
That Diana, I don't think it's going to die to those dots, so does have a chance to violent proc out here and do some damage, but does not get that proc, and Diana is now going to be, well, there's still the Vanessa passive, so not quite leaving the battlefield yet, but I think Orca is probably going to chip the Diana a little bit more here, and make it so that dice of those dots are lose turn. Well, this Werner violent proc might just take it out.
Oh, here we go. Big damage incoming. Is he going to get a violent proc to finish off the target? He stole the invincibility. And the Shaha's getting a turn. Could be scary for Vinny. Huge damage onto the Diana.
Oh man, perfect health. Wait, actually, no, yeah, he can hit something else. Why did he do that? He could just hit something else, would have boosted up the Diana, would have then died to the dots and given shot some more attack bar. So slight misplay from Orca there, a little bit of optimization right there. But, I mean, he's pretty far in this matchup. This is why Angela is so annoying, especially with that Kobarch. You have so many buffs. Like, Vanessa cannot really get through that. Vinny was never able to get that defense break set up into a Dyna skill 2 or a pattern skill 2 for the massive damage. And Orca is slowly but surely pulling away with this game.
And Vinny just cannot find an opening. The perfect cycling of Kovaci, the shield from the Angela, the small little cleanse when he finally get a breakthrough onto the Water Gojo. He just could not break this protection duo. And all the damage that he's been doing since the very first time of the match has been healed away. And Awkward is ending this match, not losing a single HP, potentially.
Yeah, it really looks like Orca just started the match, and I mean, even better than that. Shiho is low health, skills available. Well, it does have skill 3, but either way, like, Orca is so far ahead of this match, and I can't, Vinny, I see the idea with the Artemil ban, right? You probably know your Dyna's not getting banned, so you can kind of counter the immunity, but that Dyna never got to transform. It could have transformed turn 1, it would have been cut, and would have died, like, immediately had he done that. So obviously wise not to transform there, but he never got the chance to do that. Shaha just completely shut it down with the silences, and Orca mostly sitting on target. Dyna passive attack bar is not that much value in this match.
Man, the power of Shaha, it's just being on display for everyone to see here in the challenge mode, how strong this unit can be when he can solo control a unit and do very, very good damage over time.
Yeah, it really is, and I would have liked to see Vinny ban something else in the draft. Just break up that either take out one of the, shot hazard control or burner, like the damage control side of things, or to take out one of the supports here, because he did have two forms of defense break, right? So you had a defense break for the Artemil that does severely mitigate the damage that Artemil is able to deal out, but has played, Vanessa falls now, and Orchard is still near full health on everything.
Yep, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of funny that nothing on Orchard team truly scale with or truly value the attack buff. It's just the constant immunity, the little bit of healing really makes a huge difference for Orchard. Not being stunned by the shield all the time, not being provoked as well, and just being able to use their skill freely is already a huge W for the Kovaci draft.
There we go. Orchid taking a point away from GLA Jeff. Well done for skills over bills. So Topa, what do you reckon is the core reason why Orchid took the win there?
I think Orchid just had the superior protection as well as, enough control to keep the Diana down, because Diana was in his win condition right there. You can get those buffs off with that Diana, you get a defense break in there and some massive damage, but that Diana never got to transform. The Shaha just completely shot that down, and the rest of the team just couldn't get through the protection of the shields, the immunity, the attack buff. Just so many buffs. Messa couldn't find opportunity to get a defense break.
Yeah, man. And Sean, you highlighted it too, right? It's that support combo. It's so hard to break through.
Indeed. Like, he was trying to find a way to break through all that, but the pattern draft was actually probably his main weakness, because that single unit did not contribute to breaking through the enemy defense, and Dyna was being CC half the time. Shio was trying his best to do something, but everything that Shio can do, Angela can fix that even better.
Yes, exactly. She's a very talented doctor, that Angela. She can fix it right up. We still have one more game in this team matchup here. Amante Bandito versus Jeff Baladao. This is going to be very fun. Jeff, I'm a big fan of watching Jeff play this. It's always a fun time watching his camera. He always looks either very confident or, sometimes he can get a little tilted, as we all can. It's very fun. I love seeing it. And Amante Bandito has put on a good show for us so far. So let's see how this goes in our last matchup between these two teams. Topa and Sean, take it away for the pick ban phase.
Yeah, Jeff Baladao really needs to put this point on the board, and he doesn't have a Chivu. No, he does have a Chivu. There is a Chivu at the very end of the box, so this is going to be an uphill battle already for Jeff Baladao. He has that Chivu that he has to pick. He already also has Carnal, I suppose. Aside from Carnal, not much follow-up. But Amante Bandido, on the other side, does have the Molly as well, so we are now finally seeing GLHF's Red Angemon gain some value.
So Molly against Chiu, but it's Molly with Hey Gang, with Water Gojo, with Kumara, with Kovaci. That's a very, very good situation to be in.
And a light orang on top of everything, and just icing on the cake right there. This is a pretty solid bruiser lineup that Amante Bandito can definitely lock in here. So Jeff Baladao, taking a page out of Ammo's book, I believe it was, just going for a Chibu and a Gapsu. Just why not? I mean, he's just forfeiting that first, but he just has a Chibu, just a random Chibu in the draft, and then I'm just gonna try and win this 3v4, and maybe Chibu can provide a little bit of chip damage.
Man, that Thessarion and the Kovaci pick is also really, really good right now to shutting down the enemy and providing that very important immunity that he needed, and that was working overtime against enemy CC last time.
Well, in theory, Chibu is a buff remover, right? It does have a buff block on the skill too, so it shouldn't be that bad into a Kovaci. But the Chibu does also outspeed the Kovaci in this mode, I'm pretty sure, especially with the speed lead. If you pick the speed lead, you outspeed the Kovaci, so it's going to be quite interesting. Could be using that buff block to just prevent the Kovaci from buffing one monster and then targeting that down, as the rest of your team is very single target focused. But no, the Kovaci is getting banned.
I guess the Chiu is just only there for decoration and cheerleading purposes right there for Jeff.
Yeah, it really is. Does provide a little bit of damage once again. It's built on crit damage. That skill 2 is guaranteed crit. But with the Chow being banned out, I don't know. There might be enough damage, because obviously Jeff is going to be moving first. If he can get that defense break with the Water Twinge, this Horang might actually die turn 1.
Alright, first one belongs to the Chiu. He is going to drop it regardless. He will land some glancing debuff on the enemy. But that is about it for the Chiwu.
Oh, missing the defense break. That skill 3 got buffed to be more consistent defense break. That is such a huge miss. If that didn't miss, that burner's definitely dead. Now it's surviving with the skin of his teeth. And the Molly is going to be healing up. You do not want to proc here, and he doesn't get the proc.
Oh, the important cleanse is coming. So now Amante Bandidos are trying to find a window to kill something. And that unit is going to be shot the main damage carry for the enemy team.
And going for Shaha, but if he goes for Shaha, the Gapsu can be cleansing it up, so he might want to bloom in the Gapsu instead, which he does go for, even expending the defense break there. So maybe want to switch targets to Gapsu, does get a very nice Vine Proc at Thessarian as well. And Jeff Baladao seems to be in that tilted phase right now as he is not happy.
Oh, the cleanse is back to a very safe position. Oh, but that is a beautiful contribution by the Chiwu. Did not do enough damage because of the Oblivion. Shaha damage scale with his HP when he is having his passive. So without a passive, it's not doing that damage that you were expecting.
And that is just, it goes to show even further just the importance of the Thessarian Violent Proc. Thessarian Violent Proc saved the Werner's life. That heal block is sitting on top of the Werner still. The Shaha, obviously, heal block is on his S1, not the passive. But the Gapsu is leaving the battlefield. I do believe Werner is going to follow suit after, so we are sitting at a 3v3 matchup. And Jeff Baladao is not out of this match.
All right, finally 1-for-1 trade, but not looking good for the Shaha. The Violent Proc could provide a lot of value here, but he needs to land something. It's going to be tough, though.
It's going to be very tough. As both of the units, the Horang and the Thessarian, are essentially fire monsters. The elemental disadvantage paired with the Molly, you're just going to glance so often. You see it right there. It's not able to land anything. And Thessarian getting another Violent Proc that is going to take out the Shaha. And Jeff Baladao is not having fun at all.
Yep, good luck and have no fun, Parceros said. And they are winning. Even though they are not on screen at the moment, their prayer was answered. Good luck, have fun is not having a lot of fun today. The Chiwu fourth pick proved to be super effective into good luck, have fun.
Yeah, even in the first matchup of the day, the Chiwu force pick is so effective. And we might be seeing some counterplay revolving around this in the next match. Maybe, maybe we'll see a Trident Force pick that doesn't get pre-banned, and maybe the Chiwu is going to be in the pre-ban, prevent the team from having to draft this atrocious monster.
Chiwu stock keep falling, irrelevant in normal RTA mode, and even in challenge mode is being on display, being one of the worst monsters for this mode as well. Maybe we are trying to push our Chiwu buff agenda in the next balance patch.
Chiwu buff stocks are definitely up. If the Chiwu stocks are down, the buff stocks are definitely looking quite good here, as Chiwu is now the final member on the battlefield. That's how insignificant he is. Like, we don't care about this monster at all. It's like, oh, you forget about that he existed. It's like, you clean the team, it's like, wait, why is the battle not over? All right, that's the Chiwu.
And there's Amante Bandito taking home another point for skills over build. Well done, Amante Bandito. Locking that extra point in for skills over bills. Yeah, Topa, I think that game it was a little bit prophetic. It was foreshadowed from the very second that early defense break was missed by the Twin Angels, to be honest.
Yeah, that was just such a huge miss. I mean, Amante Bandito did get quite lucky there. I didn't hate Jeff Baladao's draft. The Chiwu, once again, didn't contribute a whole lot to the draft. Also, I guess if Chiwu did use the skill 2 turn 1, he would have had enough damage to take out the Werner, but that's, hindsight, obviously. You probably haven't done all those damage calculations to know that exactly, but yeah, Amante Bandito, not getting the defense break on the Werner, getting that Violent Proc in Thessaria, and that Werner got 2 extra turns that it really shouldn't have gotten in that match. And that really just put Jeff Balada on the back foot.
Exactly. So here's the final scores here. So it looks as if Good Luck Have Fun only accumulated 1 point in their skills over bills, walking away with the lion's share of points available, 3, now propelling them into that first place position with 12 total points, surpassing Parceros. It's looking pretty good for skills over bills right now, Sean.
Looking real good right there. And once again, it shows that in this mode, we do have a situation of skill over bills, because everyone paid the same bills in this challenge mode. And all you have is your skill.
That's right. And also, they can feel pretty secure considering that there's 4 points between them and Banana Boys. So it's going to take a lot for them to not make it into the placements. In fact, it might even be impossible for them to not place for the tournament proper after this. All right, everybody, we still have one more team matchup to look forward to here. So we'll be right back with that after this short break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Americas Summit. This time again for week 4 of the round robin portion. We are here in the precipice of the last matchup of the day. We have had 2 prior to this, and now it's the last opportunity for these 2 teams to earn points this week. And it's still a best of 1 and still challenge mode. Topa, we've had some really exciting games so far, man.
Oh yeah, that True Will match was definitely one for the books, and I'm sure we got 4 more exciting matches coming up here too, because it is Team Chaos who came in this week as the point leader, so we got some high quality gameplay coming up for sure.
Exactly. So, Sean, for folks who might be joining a little bit late, what would you reckon has been the MVP monster of the day today?
Dude, the MVP monster has to be the force pick Chiwu on the enemy team. That is the that's the Amodace unit right there on the enemy team. That is the MVP monster. Being able to do a 3v4 fight, oh my god. That
I knew
is
you were gonna
insane.
say that, man.
More like a 5v3, to be honest.
I
Like
know,
he was just
yeah.
there doing it for the enemy team, bro. That's the MVP monster.
You're so right, dude. I knew you were going that direction. Yeah, Chiwu has just been like the cinder block that people are tied to as they're like plummeting down into the ocean. Like this is just he has not been helping people. Turns out Chiwu, it can only really shine when you're planning around like needing an AoE strip option. And that's not a very common strategy that's available in challenge mode right now, right, Topa?
Yeah, it really isn't. But what has probably been the MVP of the today, actually like winning games, is the Water Verter. Week in and week out, he continues to impress us, and for good reason, because he's doing so much damage. Getting that turn cycle on his passive as well. Then if you get any violent procs, it's just so oppressive, doing so much damage. Always just stealing those buffs as well. He's also a buff remover and a lot more. Something that Chiwu like dreams of being.
It's so true. There's our last team matchup of the day. Chaos versus Banana Boys. And just in case you didn't manage to take a look at it before the break, we got the leaderboard up here again for you. So we got Chaos sitting at 10, Banana Boys at 8. Currently, both of these teams are placing, but Banana Boys is right at cutoff, and they're actually tied with Good Luck Have Fun right now. And what do we mean by placements? The round robin phase is meant to determine seeding for the actual tournament that's going to happen after the 5 weeks of round robin. And if you don't place in the top 4, then your team is cut from the running. Unfortunately, the Banana Boys never fail to disappoint with those backgrounds right now. Look at that. That is hilarious, Topa.
Dude, yeah, they look so good. I love Rhino, has his special challenge mode, America Summit shirt. Compared to every week he's repping this banana shirt. It's just so great to see, and yeah, they are so on theme right there. I love to see it.
They're repping the team very well. I love it. So right now they're deciding what matchups to take. Looks like Jermo is going in that first slot there. And again, I want to remind everybody the items that we have in play. So they've got the Devilmon so that they can last minute swap placements. They have one Water Angelmon that allows them to pre-ban a monster, and that means it's off limits for both teams. And then they also have a Fire Angelmon that forces their enemy team to pick Chiwu. Technically, it can be any monster, but we know that it's probably going to be Chiwu. People have been hedging their bets so far, Sean, by pre-banning Triton, but I'm thinking that now that they've had time to do their homework, they should probably
Rhino,
swap
and
to a
third
pre-ban
will
on
be
Chiwu.
Zex.
That's true. That's gonna be another huge gamble here. Like, what do we even do now? I think we need a new rule next week. Dude, every week there's a new Angelmon at this point. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Maybe we need to add a win Angelmon and make it like a ban protected slot.
There you go. Yeah, well, if there's something like that, something spicy for the last week of round robin, that sounds very fun. Oh, and we're getting Zezas versus Rhino in match 2. That'll be really fun to watch. And then so Zex is queued up for match 3. We'll see what's going to happen for his opponent as well as the match 4 here at Topa. Topa, if you had to come up with an Angelmon of your own, what rule would you put on it?
I think I would like to see the pre-ban Angelmon, but probably only the opposing team. Because right now, the pre-ban Angelmon is only really being used to counter the Fire Angelmon, because that seems to be like by far the more powerful one. Because players are really afraid of, just having that pre-ban come back to haunt you, right? Like, you don't want to ban the Water Burner. You would love to ban the Water Burner from the opposing team, but you really don't want to ban the Water Burner from your team. So I would really like to see an Angelmon that, because the Fire Angel Mon, it doesn't force you to have to pick the monster if you have it. So you can like very freely use the Fire Angel Mon. But then the Water one, the pre-ban one, when it applies to you as well, teams are being very cautious in using that one.
Nice. That's a very good point, actually. It gives it a little bit more power as well. And it's, because now the potency is very high because you can restrict your enemy and still have it free for yourself. So the last match is locked in there. We got HSZN, HSZN versus Apps in that last matchup there. This will be fun. Now we are just waiting to hear if either of these teams would like to use any of their items, and we'll keep you posted on that as we hear it. So Sean, with that said, do you agree? Do you think that the Angelmon should be used to pre-ban the Chiwu, or is there something else that you have in mind?
Yeah, I think they gotta really pre-ban the force pick from the enemy right there, because that is just too much to handle when you're playing with a Chiwu or a Triton in this particular mode, because they just don't provide a whole lot of value for the team while being pretty much a piece of death weight.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that's probably the play. Topa, do you think that's true as well?
Yeah, I think that is the play. Once again, the Blue Angel Mon, the pre-ban is just, you don't want to ban a good monster because then you're not able to use it. So you really just want to ban a monster you don't want to have to use yourself. But then, I mean, what does that come down to, right? Because we've seen Triton being force picked quite a few times, but we've seen Triton being in the pre-ban in every single matchup so far. So, Tritons are not coming out to play. And maybe, Chiwu has done so poorly, maybe that's not going to shift over Chiwu, but then Triton is open, so like which way do you go? It's kind of a rock paper scissors moment here a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, I'd argue even in Triton's case, at least he has the follow-up. Chiwu really is just the speed lead in the opener, but he doesn't really have much to do once he's ripped that skill 3. Triton at least has the skill 2 silence, which is a really nice little benefit if you happen to find the window for it down the line. Like, I think that is meaning something. Oh, we just got an update. So Chaos has banned Werner, and they're making Banana Boys pick Triton. They're shaking it up. Whoa! Okay, so now the Banana Boys have banned Riley, and they're making Chaos choose Chiwu. So Werner's out, Riley's out, Banana Boys have to pick Triton, and Chaos has to pick Chiwu. So this is actually really cool. This is like the final form of troll Angelmons right now, Topa.
Yeah, it really is. We actually have a Chiwu versus Triton matchup, and we have two pretty strong monsters that are not being drafted by both teams. So actually, Team Chaos, just taking that leap of faith, I guess. We don't need Werner, and we don't need our opponent to have Werner either, as they do ban out arguably the strongest monster. And then Riley, we've seen a lot of Riley picks, not with the greatest of success, but still we've seen a lot of Riley. And sometimes she's very annoying, and yeah, that Riley won't be available in this match.
Yeah. This is so funny, Sean. So now it's like both players, in theory, will be at the same level of disadvantage if we see a mode where they got Triton and Chiwu at the same time.
Yep, this is going to be very interesting here. I think they're also trying to force the game to be a bit faster by forcing one another to pick the... oh my god, Triton and Chiwu are on the same side. That's funny.
Here we go,
yeah,
guys.
That is on the Chaos side. So Stay Hive has to draft that Chiwu. That Chiwu is being drafted, and so far Chiwu has not gotten a single win today, I'm pretty sure. This is already looking quite good for Dermo, as he does open with that Water Monkey here, and Stay Hive locks in that Chiwu.
Oh, and also Banana Boys happen to have the Hey Gang and the Werner against the Chiwu. That is the best outcome if they can ever ask for.
Oh, but the Werner and the Riley cannot be drafted. So actually Dermo does have quite a bit of limitations here. His box is only consisting of 12 monsters, as 2 of those he cannot draft, that Werner being one of them that he definitely would like to be drafting here. So Chaos's bold pre-ban on that Werner is paying some dividends here at least. So we'll see what Dermo wants to go here, as his box is actually looking quite awkward for not being able to draft those 2 monsters here.
All right, we got the Hey Gang and the Villager picked up. He is going turn 2 for sure. Stay Hive will potentially go for more speedy follow-up, maybe even like an Erection and the Water Draken. But no, it's going to go Bruiser with Chow and the Gapsu.
Yeah, so far, this has not worked. We saw Ammo do this. We saw Vinny, I believe, do this. No, not Vinny. one of the other players, I'm forgetting who now exactly, the matches are kind of blurring together, but we saw this twice today with the Chiwu Gapsu combo. The Jeff Bull had done this as well, yeah. So with the Chiwu Gapsu, has not won yet. We've seen it a couple of times. We'll see if Stay Hive can turn that around. And Dermo also picking up that Tessarian that did dismantle Jeff Bulladao's team.
Yep, that Tessan's going to look really, really strong if he violent park like last time and happen to oblivion everything on the field here. So Stay Hive last pick could be a Kumar for the cleanse, could be a Shizuka for the AoE skill 3. Let's see what she decides to go with here.
Yeah, I think the last pick is getting banned out either way. Shizuka, very strong picker. Obviously, you can reflect those oblivions. You can throw those right back out to Dermo, if that Bella Jewel or immunity is not present. That Shizuka is probably getting banned. And on Stay Hive, he's probably going to ban out one of those last two picks. I think either Shahar or Siren are both quite fighting bans. They both do quite a bit of damage and are tanky in doing that as well, providing some debuffs so like Gapsu doesn't get the most value.
All right, now's the post-ban phase. Let's see which one is it going to be. Is it going to be? It is going to be Shizuka. It's going to be Tessari, and Stay Hive will have to fight through this Heigang Velaju combination. But if we believe in Chao, maybe we can.
Oh man, but the Chiwu there, man. Like, how does Chiwu do anything here? There's sure you can remove the immunities, but like there's a Heigang, so you give them attack bar instead of pushing them back. And Chiwu with the speed lead is going to be taking turn 1 here, so like you kind of have a dead turn 1 as well as a result of this. It's just so awkward.
I think he probably got to wait and throw it later when the Villager has already used the skill. Forcing up, didn't force anything. Shio will take the first turn, did some damage right there. He is trying to bring that to Shio as quickly as possible because we do have the Chao to hit through that, and the Gaps are potentially stealing the invincibility as well.
Gapsu could be using that skill 2 there, but that's going to be forfeiting a lot of damage, so might want to use that skill 2 elsewhere, as it does do quite a bit of damage. Bellaju, obviously, if you use red damage, that Bellaju heal does become more valuable, and does steal the correct buff there. Obviously, doesn't really matter, as the child would have gone right through that, but what matters is that it does not get stripped on top of the Gapsu, so the invisibility stays.
All right, we got the Velaju with the skill 3 ready to go, but the Chiu will take that off as well, even if he has to push the enemy attack bar by quite a fair bit. And Velaju, is he going to skill 2? Set up the defense.
Right. Velaju does get that final proc. Goes to the Demon's Break on top of the Gapsu. Really wants to get rid of this Gapsu. Just get rid of the sustain, get rid of the healing. I don't know if I agree with this play. I feel like you'd probably be better off going for the Zenitsu first, maybe, as that unit does a lot of damage. It's going to be squishy. Also, you can prevent it from healing just by putting a simple heal block on it. Nullifying that passive.
We got a big stun coming up right there. Can he stun the entire enemy team here? Shio going in, get a triple and a full turn in between. This Gapsu is under a lot of pressure. The heal block from the Shahad is working overtime on this Gapsu, blocking him from getting any health back.
It really is, and the Gapsu also kind of helping Dermo a little bit here. It's cleansing 1 debuff at a time. By cleansing 1 debuff, that is giving Heigang and Dermo's entire team a lot of attack bar. So Gapsu now is going to be probably going down to those dots. I think it could live. Yeah, it would live if it does cleanse the heal block right there. Otherwise, that's going to be giving attack bar. So Dermo is now switching targets. Going for that Zenitsu here.
Yep, Zenitsu's not doing a whole lot right there, but he might be able to bring down the Shiho. But I think Shiho overall is just not a very good unit against Chao. So, oh my god, barely alive right there to dish out another skill 3 that can do a significant amount of damage on this Wind Zenitsu.
Definitely doesn't go for the Wind Zenitsu, goes for the Chiwu, trying to get that stun right. He would have got more value just going for removing that speed of Zenitsu, getting that damage in, and then you could have heal blocked it with this Shaha here, maybe even taken it out.
Alright, we got a shot going in. Which one is it going to be? He got skill 2 ready to go. And the skill 2 will go into the Wind Zenitsu. Only landing 1 dot and did not get the silence.
That's still a lot of damage with the double hit, getting that 7% of his max health is damage every time. And Stay Hive, hello, sir. That does not go through invisibility. It does ignore all effects that resist death, but it does not go through damage reduction effects. There's a pretty big difference right there. And Zezas is shaking his head as this was his first pick. Stay Hive was supposed to be the challenge mode go. Doesn't know very simple interactions here.
Not my goal, not my goal. He did not just do that. And that is another problem when you have to play with unit that you're not familiar with. Wind Zenitsu is an off meta unit for quite some time now, due to the fact that he's been being countered by so many new things in the meta. So Stay Hive, even if he's a GOAT for the challenge mode, he might not be a Win Zenitsu enjoyer. So there could be some mistake right there. That's for sure.
Okay, we'll see if Dermo knows the Winston interactions. The dot will kill us through the passive. So, okay, Dermo does know Winston and knows that he doesn't need to hit that monster. It's going to die with that dot and even give it a little bit more attack bar. This Melayu is not going to be finishing off. Nope, not finishing off the Chiwu quite yet. Chao could still take this game, but it's still a decent amount of health left in the Shah Hive.
Yep, that's going to be a big conflict for Chao every time. If he managed to crit one more hit with the skill 2, he might be able to do it. Stay Hive might still be the GOAT.
Might be the goal. We saw earlier that the Chao was not able to crit True Whale's Arrestion at all. This Chao, so far, 1 for 1 on the crits, but more healing coming through with the Justice. Now being in lower health, I think a crit will still likely take out the Shah here. Can he roll the crit though?
The triple resist on that Chao though. That's crazy. He dodged every single debuff, but he did not crit. But he crit the wrong attack. Oh my gosh, Chao is still going to be here with us. And he's still going to land some dots, but then Velager is going to bring back some attack bar as well. If the Velager bottom proc hit to get a skill 2 off, he did not.
No bottom proc for that skill 2, but that's still a lot of attack bar, especially cleansing that debuff on top of the Shah too, giving even more attack from taking passive. Shah kind of needs a violent proc here, doesn't get the proc. So I believe he is going to go down here. Does he agree? Does not agree. Just go, oh my goodness, Chao is actually going to do it. He is proccing every turn.
Stay Hive. Oh, wait, hold up. That defense break, though. That could be bad. That could be really bad. Can he crit another time? He's returning fire. Oh, Chao's still alive. Justice coming, raining down from above. And Chao. Stay Hive still the GOAT.
Wow, the GOAT of RNG right here, getting bailed out by this Chao. The get out of jail free card. Just rocking nearly every turn of that thing. Nice couple crits in the shot as well to take it out. Hagen is not ever going to win this match. I think the Belichick getting the defense breaking the crit could have done something, but that window has been shut tighter than the bolts of something. I don't know.
Literally bailed out by Chao. Folks in chat moments ago were saying Chao doesn't exist. Who is Chao? Everyone will know his name. All roads lead to Chao. Stay Hive takes it with a Chao solo right now, Sean. That was crazy.
That was unreal performance though from the Chao. Who would have thought the one and only the GOAT of Potential Man actually had the potential in this match?
Potential Man is crazy. Yeah, Megami catching slander even here. Yeah, Potential Man is right, dude. Chao took it back. Actually, so that was crazy. Sean, you called it out during the game. Chao triple resisting was actually really important because it meant that he was going to cleanse the stun and wake up so he could proceed to proc every turn.
Indeed, that was just unreal. Like, how did he manage to triple resist from a Chao, no less? Stay Hive, starting off strong for the Chaos team.
That's right. And yeah, Topa, we did see that one blunder, that interesting interaction where it's like it's a very important distinction. If you guys could see our cameras, we were having quite the reaction for that one. The Zenitsu skill 4, it ignores all effects that resist death, but it doesn't ignore damage reduction effects. Isn't that right, Topa?
Yeah, that is exactly the case. And obviously, invisibility damage reduction effect, usually that doesn't matter because you get like the extra damage according to max HP. So even if like a defense buff, that is a damage reduction effect, or reflect damage, damage reduction effect, it doesn't really matter because you get the extra damage that you still kill if that skill is glowing. But invisibility, obviously, you can't deal any damage, so then it doesn't do anything, only giving you that 50% attack bar. And that's definitely not what Stayha was looking for there, as he could have just used that skill on any other monster.
Exactly. Here we go, guys. Zezas versus Rhino. We're already in the pick ban phase. Take it away, Topa and Sean.
Oh boy, there's the Triton. So Rhino. Also, worth mentioning that Stay Hive did manage to get a W with the Chiwu. It was very heavily on the back of Chao, but either way, that was the first Chiwu W. And now Rhino is going to be forced to pick this Triton at some point in this draft.
And he first picked the Water Draken Warrior, no less. Not picking up a speed lead early on. Very interesting. Zezas, he has the Maximilian, but Maximilian is not very popular in challenge mode, but he do have like a good amount of bruiser for his team as well.
Picking up the Megumi as well. This is the first Megumi we've seen. No, the second Megumi we've seen today. We saw one in the very opening match of the day. It did die almost turn on the Chow, but other way, we've seen a Megumi, and that is going to be very effective after that Triton is getting force picked into this match. And we'll see what Rhino wants to do with this draft. He does have that Soul Bark for some AoE follow-up, but there's not much else in his box.
Oh, the Triton card is shown. Zezas now know that he can pick some good old fire unit into this lineup here. So we do have a lot of immunity in the form of Velaju, Wind Twin, Kumara can be used as well in this situation for the cleanse. Let's see what he's gonna go for.
And going for a Velajul for some immunity, as well as the Goat Chow is back in business here. Thessarian was already being picked up, so maybe a little bit preemptive to try and counter that Chow. We'll see if Rhino also decides to go for a Shaha and maybe even a Diana, just trying to pummel more damage in this, or does he take it more slower and go for an Angela?
Let's see what he's gonna do here. Still deciding on what he's gonna go for. There is already a Chow over there, and that Chow really did something for the Chaos team. So this Chow is being picked a little bit early than usual.
It really is, and Rhino now going for a Shiho Shizuka right there. So Shiho getting that invisibility, Soulbark getting a threat state. Threat state is very strong with Shizuka, because with the skill 3 you can actually get AoE threat state for your whole team, meaning that the opponent has to split damage so much because they have to hit each monster individually twice before they can fully target down one monster.
It's kind of funny that we're going from first picking Wind Monkey to not even picking Wind Monkey anymore into 3 water and a Triton at this point of the game.
Yeah, I think the players have finally caught on that Wind Monkey is not what it is on the ladder. It's not that same monster. And Zezas is going for a very defensive draft here, picking up a, the blast from the past here, the OG double immunity combo in Velajul Wusa.
Oh, we got the Fire Megumi band, we got the Shiho band, no more invincibility, but this Shizuka is going to provide a lot of buff for the team by stealing it away from the enemy Wusa. Can this Chow be the one once again?
I think Zezas was expecting a Chow ban there, therefore banning out that Shiho, which would obviously lock down the Megumi the most, because this Chow could have just chewed right through that Shiho. Right now we see Triton taking that turn on, but he misses. Oh my goodness.
And that is it for the Triton showcase, because all he needed to do was to push back so that this Solvar can actually control, but the man just fumbled the bag.
That is just so tragic to see. Like, yeah, he had one job and he couldn't even do that. Maybe he can lower the cooldown to try and get that skill 3 back up sooner. I think that's definitely what he should be doing here. So utilize that skill 2, because you don't really need the skill 3 here now. And it goes for the skill 3 anyways, spreading that threat state to everything.
Alright, now the Chow's gonna find all the opportunity to pummel damage, but the threat state is going to break his attention a little bit, because you've got to finish hitting everyone else before you can go back to the Thessarian.
Yeah, you do have to do that, but there's no healing on the side of Rhino. So that Thessarian is going to be sitting at that half health for the rest of the match, or even lower as the match goes on here. And that Triton so many turns away from another AoE that I think Zezas is kind of going to run away with this match.
And the Thessarian really need a defense break somewhere to actually do any real damage to the enemy team. But with this sort of permanent immunity, like even if the Triton gets to strip back, he needs to find a window where both these immunity powerhouse doesn't have the skill 3, and they are going to have the skill 3 back very, very soon.
Yeah, that's going to be the case. Triton does actually have skill 3 available. Now, Velajul just used immunity. Wusa, I believe, has immunity in one more turn after the current turn, so it's 2 turns away. Not next turn, but the turn after that does have that. Gatsu doesn't get the stun there, but now the threat state is gone. So Thessarian can be focused once again. Can Triton get some pushback? Maybe save the life of Thessarian.
Oh, big pushback, but the Chow is still moving, going in for the kill. Zezas secured the first hit with the Chow.
And just getting the bottom proc, add some insult to injury right there. Wu's just procking back into immunity, and I mean, I saw the vision here, right? If Triton had performed turn 1, we would have had a completely different game. That was very difficult, as the Velajul does outspeed the Soul Bark. So Triton actually had to get the pushback, not only in the Wu's, but also the Velajul, and that was going to be a pretty unlikely scenario.
Once again, we are witnessing the power of the force pick rule in the America Summit. putting the enemy at a huge disadvantage in the challenge mode by picking one of the worst performing monster. That is going to be Triton.
Yes, they have somehow, someway, with the power of Chow and Violent Procs, was able to get a win for the Chiwu. Obviously, Rhino doesn't have that luxury, and Triton's going to be taking a fat loss right there as Zezas takes the second game.
Yeah, Importunity in chat put it real well when he said Zezas' draft is pretty nuts. And it honestly was, especially when you got units that are working overtime like that, Topa.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just all those resist turn one. But once again, like the Village does outspeed Solovark. So landing the buffer move and the pushback on the Village is going to be a pretty low chance as you're, wind hitting fire. But also just missing on the Woos. And then that second time around too, you land everything kind of, but then Woos just procs right back into immunity.
Dude, I know. Oh my god. When he proc'd like that, yeah, that was the last nail in the coffin, to be totally honest. Like I said, the monsters were working overtime. Honestly, I kind of want the power of Chow and procs on a t-shirt. I feel like that would be really, I would wear that. That sounds amazing. Here we're going into Lordo versus Zex up here in match number 3. We are quickly approaching the last 2 games of the day between these two teams. Let's see if they can break the chain here. Can Zex get his team a point? The Banana Boys are having a hard time out there, Sean. They're not getting any points.
Definitely. And if I'm Parceros, I'll be celebrating right now because that is another opportunity for me to sneak in the next week.
Yeah. Dang Skippy. All right, guys, here we go. Lordo versus Zex coming up here right now. We are quickly approaching the pick ban phase. Topa and Sean, take it away for this one.
That we are. Zex, once again, if he has a Triton, it's going to be a tough matchup. But Lordo, if he has a Chiwu, it's going to be rough on that. I really want to see one match where there is a Triton versus a Chiwu. Which one is... Let's settle this once and for all. Who is the worst challenge mode monster?
Let's once and for all. The showdown we all wanted. Who's the worst forfeit? Dude, we're gonna find out.
We got it.
We got it.
Wait, no, it's opposite. No,
Wait,
it's
no,
opposite.
we got it on the wrong
opposite.
side.
No, it's the wrong side.
Wait, can I do that? Can we tell them to pick Chiwu and Trident?
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
gentleman's
God.
rule here. We know it's opposite, but let's just pick them up anyways. Oh man, that was. Oh, I got so excited for a second there, but it is not going to be happening.
That's funny though. That is actually crazy that we actually have it, but at the wrong side of the table. So we have a proper no restriction game for once.
Well, there is a Riley that's unable to be drafted, but aside from that, yeah, no other restrictions. And Chow is back on Chaos side, and so is the Gapsu. Like, just Chow Gapsu combo has not lost for Team Chaos. We'll see if Zex can dismantle that, picking up that Thessarian that has been performing pretty well.
Yep, especially when there's no crazy immunity on the side of Lordo. So the Thessarian and the Wind Twin can perform their AoE shenanigans.
Yeah, Lordo might respond with that Shizuka here, getting that immunity, being able to clap back with the Oblivions right back to Zex. Not that there's many paths with Oblivion, but no, he's gonna pick the GOAT Kumar. It's Kumar and Chow on one team. How do you ever lose this?
Also, we don't really have a lot of damage on the side of Zex, but we have to pick up the Vert right there for another layer of damage, because if you don't have damage but you have defense break, Vert will become your damage if you move a whole lot. So Vert is going to be banned out, and the Chow, the one and only, the GOAT, Chow is going to be banned out as well.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Vertihal pick here, honestly, because it's built on a pretty slow triple revenge set, and there's not that many AoEs on Lordo's side. I feel like you could have just kind of gone around the Vertihal here, and also every Vertihal skill 1 has life drain, so it actually gives your gaps a 20% attack bar every time the Vertihal, or every other turn Vertihal you actually use that skill 1. But either way, I guess Lordo was comfortable fighting the first 4 sets, and therefore just bans out the Vertihal to get into the game as the Wind Twin already gains some control on the board.
Oh, beautiful slow debuff, but remember, we got the GOAT Kumar with AoE cleanse right there. That also is happened to move in front of the rest of the team, but the rest of the team are eating from the slow debuff. So all this doesn't really matter that much, and we have 2 or up to 3 or 4 single target strip coming out from Lordo, so the immunity will go down very, very soon.
Nice violent proc coming for that Kumar as well, but does Fortunately for Zex, does not land the Oblivion on the Tessarian, because that would be a lot of damage reduction. But Tessarian's already looking very weak here. Very low on health. The Water Twin being very consistent with that skill too today.
Yep, a lot of stun coming out. But Tessarian is still under a lot of pressure because the dot is going to give this shot a lot of attack bar as well. And the counter attack, but unfortunately into the immunity that the Gapsu stole from his team earlier.
Yeah, Belajul now could set up a defense break here. Might have opportunity as Tessarian is following that up very closely. Waterton probably going to be refresh that Belajul, getting that skill 2 right back up as well as that skill 3. And now Tessarian getting a nice Violent Rock with damage as well on that Gapsu.
Making it 3-turn Oblivion, but the Gold Kumar, if he gets a turn, will take away the debuff on the side of Gapsu. But this Kumar is being absolutely controlled by the enemy. But Gapsu still got a very strong skill too, did a lot of damage on the Tessarian. And Tessarian is looking to be cornered right now unless the Belajul can save him.
And Belajul, I believe, does have Cleanse available, so he's going to be saving the Tessarian for one more turn. Yep, the Cleanse is available. The Tessarian could take out... Oh my goodness, that is a huge Violent proc, because now that might take out the Capsule here, and then Tessarian can finish it off after the Vanessa revive.
Here we go, Vanessa revive Tessarian going in with the defense break. Lordo not feeling it for this one right there because the Gapsu is one of the main source of damage and healing as well for the team. But he is going to be alive. Can the Kumar do it though?
The last hit defense break right there, so not taking out the gaps right there. Zex was definitely contemplating there just Oblivion the Shaha, because if he were to Oblivion the Shaha, that would take away all the damage from the Shaha. And Tessarian could have lived a bit longer there, but just confirmed the kill, which is never a bad thing. And Tessarian's still
the
living.
Damage reduction from the passive is saving the Tessarian. Without gaps in the field, Lordo is under a lot of pressure because without that cleanse, without the damage, but the Tessarian is getting the violent pressure he needs, taking away the shot damage altogether.
Ooh, the speed buff and the slows right there. Not getting the slow on the Kumar. Kumar can now cleanse up right there. And Shaha, their shields on the top of Tessarian. Tessarian is still somehow surviving.
Tessarian is standing strong. Belajul getting another proc right there. Back to back proc from Zex. Looking real good. Tessarian surviving just fine. Taking away another unit passive with his passive.
Yeah, a lot of damage from Tessarian. Does get damage amp if there's a debuff and all of that. Defense break sitting on top of Shaha. A lot of damage can be coming out. Even if Kumar Violent Proc, there is no heal. There is a cleanse, but does not get that Violent Proc. So Shaha is going to be Oblivion, and that means he is not going to be doing any damage really.
Oh, a bit more damage, but nowhere near enough. Triple stun from the Wind Twin Angel. Zex is destined to take this game. Lordo threw in the tower. GG.
Dude, he knew it. You see that? Yeah, immediately he was like, oh, my bad, bro. Got the triple stun. Topa, that's a signal. When you land something like that, that means I win.
Yeah, the Twin Angels have been extremely consistent today. We saw the Water Twin Angel earlier as well. You know, the Water Twin Angel was brought against the CC team, but the Water Twin Angel ended up being the CC of that match. And in this match too, we saw the double Twin Angels with that skill too, getting a lot of stuns. The Wind one being built on Despair too for even more stuns. And I mean, just stunning both fire monsters there too, no problem.
Exactly. And Sean, the Tessarian hung around a lot longer than I expected it to be honest.
Yeah, I think thing that people often forget about Tessarian is that his passive not only provide him with Oblivion, it also provide him with a very strong damage reduction and increasing effect in one passive. So hitting a Tessarian might feel like you are hitting a brick wall sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good point to remind people. He'll take less damage than you think he should, and he'll deal more than you thought he would as well. There we go. Zex did it. We were just saying that he needs to turn it on for the Banana Boys and get a point on the board, and that's exactly what he showed up to do. Very good job from Zex, and we have one last game for the day. HSZN, HSZN versus Apps in this last showdown here in week 4 of the Americas Summit round robin phase. Guys, we are already going into the pick ban phase. Topa and Sean, take it away.
Oh, Apps got the short end of the stick here. He has Triton in his box as well as the Chibu. But that Triton has to be drafted by Apps. And he also has the Werner and the Riley. So Apps really got everything that he didn't want to have. This is already looking pretty good for each season.
The worst parks possible. His only speed lead is the worst unit in the whole challenge mode as well. So Abs is looking real tough right there. No speed lead option that is good, and forced to pick one of the worst unit, and forced to not pick two of the best unit for the challenge mode. This is like extreme mode for Abs right now.
But he does have the 2 goats on his box as well, though. There's a Kumar, there's a Chow. Although Kumar Chow did somehow just lose the last game, so maybe they're not the goats. By the way, those are available for apps, so maybe there's a little bit of chance there. But that Triton is going to be coming to the draft at some point here.
Oh, we got a very strong start from HSZN. That is like a serious non-challenge mode draft if I ever see one.
Yeah, the Shaha is a little bit off meta, but the Megumi Water Monkey is very, very strong. And once again, the Megumi is being drafted preemptively. And Apps has the last pick, the Triton. So we already know what Apps' draft is going to be here. Obviously, HSZN does not know that Apps has the Triton in his box. But I hope Apps realizes that he has a Triton, because otherwise he's going to be forfeiting this point that his team definitely does need here.
We got the Gapsu getting picked up right there. And we still got the Eretion as well, looking really good for the attack bar reduction, the heal. But he is going in with a Diana. That is still very good against the Triton anyway.
Yeah, the Triton is, I mean, that is just so sad. Like, Apps' draft is like, it's not bad, right? But then you just pick a Triton. It's like, this is literally, you might not even have a pick here. Like, literally, this Triton may even hurt you more than it helps you, right? Because you have to hit something with it. If you hit the Dyna, you can give the Megumi attack bar. If you hit the Megumi, you can give the Dyna attack bar. So it would probably be better to just not have this monster in the draft at all.
All right, here we go. What is going to be the ban? Is it going to be Angela? It will be Angela and the Diana. So HSZN is going to have a speed lead, heal, damage, control setup here. And then Apps is playing with 3 monsters pretty much.
Yeah, Apps playing with only 3 monsters here. The Triton is not going to be taking turn 1 here. We know Shiho is the fast monster in challenge mode, especially with that speed lead. And easily going to be outpacing Apps here, but Shiho does miss. So Triton is moving second here. Maybe this Triton can do dodge work. And does miss a pushback there.
But he did get the other unit, so maybe he's going to get this threat state on his team, but oh, no stun right there. Did not go for the skill 2, saving it for later to steal the threat state if he wants to in the upcoming turn, because Chao's going to heal himself, which means the Gapsu is going to have some attack bar as well.
Oh, interesting Apps. I'm going to go for a skill 2 with the Soul Bark right there. Makes sense to not use a skill 3 as the Megumi would move right after and just steal the threat space. But I almost would have liked to see him use a skill 1 there. See, if he defense broke this Shiho, with the Chao would have definitely taken it out.
It's kind of crazy how the game has evolved into a point where using skill 1 sometimes is the most optimal outcome. And that is a great thing about Summoners World. The strategy is a little bit more diverse in that sense.
It really isn't. Man, if that Shiho was out of here, it would be looking not too bad for Apps. It's still obviously a very tall order from take out this Gapsu Shaha combination. But the Chao can definitely deal with the rest here. And now with the Gapsu skill, that's definitely going to be taking out the Soul Bark here. And Apps is going to be sitting at, you know, just 2v4 situation as that Triton is not real.
2v4, dude. That is a tall order for Abs right there. The Chao. Can Chao be it? Chao could do it though. Chao's like 3 man in one unit. So he's going to take out the monkey, but the Cardinal's not moving anytime soon. Silver is about to go down. So Chao got to really, really do it.
Yeah, the Cardinal has been permanently controlled by this Fire Megumi here as well, so not taking any turns. Obviously, getting those slows, the Cardinal does do good damage as well. It is on a very high damage state, crit damage with 100 crit. So could be doing a number here, but he's never going to get a turn this match. And it's literally all on Chao's shoulders. Chao did carry the Chibu's victory earlier for Stay High. Can Chao carry the Trident to victory as well?
And carrying an old man to victory is going to be a tough one for Chao. Cardinal is going to go down to the dot next turn. Triton is literally providing 100 damage every time he takes a turn right there. Absolutely nothing to the Gapsu healing. And Chao got to deal with this non-speed lead situation. So enemy team is naturally faster, having a wind unit and a healer that gain turn when you gain turn at the same time. We are branding. We got so many things working against Chao.
Oh boy, we need to see a resistance from Chao, and nope, that is the usual outcome of that skill too. All 3 debuffs land, and now there's an overflow of debuffs in this Chao, so some of those debuffs even stick. Goes for that Justice, some decent damage, but no violent proc from this Chao. It's not the miracle worker that Stay High had.
Yep, overflow debuff, the overflow that you don't like. That's for sure. We got Gapsu going in, Wind Bayak going in. There's nothing that this Chao can do. Like, this Chao gonna take like 5 turns every turn to actually do anything at this point.
Proc here, nope, doesn't get the proc. If he proc there, I think that, no, still probably not going to take out the Gapsu. But if he did take out Gapsu, then maybe he had a chance. I think at this point, Gapsu's going to whack it. The Shoha is going to whack it. And that is going to be the end of Chao. And, oh, no, I think Chao will live this.
Maybe. Oh, the pushback from the Fire Megumi. And that's all she wrote, baby. GG, Abzi getting the worst box possible at the end of the day of the challenge mode. Can't blame him, man. There was nothing he could do.
It was an uphill battle for sure for Abs. HSZN taking a point away at the end, securing it for Chaos at the end there. Man, yeah, Topa, that was a tough break having the Triton in the box.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. He had the Triton, he had the Chiwu, he had both of the pre-banned monsters. So not only was he was playing with a box of 12 monsters, but he was already forced to pick in one of those. And I mean, Chiwu you probably don't want to pick. So that was a really rough roll of the dice for Abs right there.
It was an amalgamation of a lot of bad things at the end there. Again, guys, I have to stress one more time, this is not the last opportunity. So if you're a fan of Banana Boys, you should still come back next week for the last week of the round robin phase of the Americas Summit, where all the teams are going to have another opportunity to earn points and get over that placement cutoff barrier down there. So Banana Boys still in the positive zone right now, though Chaos has now jumped up to that 13-point lead for first place, followed by Skills Over Bills, Parceros, Banana Boys, Good Luck, Have Fun, and Skit Sons. Those latter two are at risk of getting cut off before the tournament itself. Sean, dude, that game was tough. I thought maybe Chao had a chance, but it was no dice, dude.
Definitely. Like, maybe if he had a speed lead with him so that he could move a bit more frequently, but Triton is so bad compared to Chiu that he didn't even provide Chao with a speed lead. Like, at least Chiu would provide him something passive. Triton was just there like, you do you, bro. Like, keep doing it.
So does that mean we figured it out once and for all, Topa? It's Triton, right? He's the worst of the two then.
I think we figured out, yeah. Chibu did manage to get a win there, in the game one for Stay Hive. And yeah, Chibu supported the Chao enough for the Chao to get the win. The Triton did nothing, right? Like, you're on your own, bro. And the Triton just could not get a win at all.
Also, Importunity pointed it out there, Topa, as well. But Gapsu was drafted by the Chaos team 4 times. They really believed in Gapsu.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, it got them 3 wins. Gapsu is a pretty strong monster in the challenge mode, and it showed right there, obviously getting just that true damage on that skill too. So it's a healer, it's a cleanser, and it's even a damage dealer with that skill too, right? Like, you can kill a Chao with that Gapsu. True
that. Yeah, and the branding on skill 2 is super valuable. Just having that cleanse and sustain is amazing. We want more. Summit 26 is the next code. It'll get you 2 mystical scrolls. Guys, make sure to type that in. Again, if you're on Android, you can just hop on over to the events page and scroll down to the coupon code redemption section there. If you're on iOS, you can use the link that'll be posted in chat by our mods. Alternatively, there is also the With Hive website where you can type that in, as well as your in-game name and your server, and it'll redeem it for you as well. Wow. But yeah, so Sean, having sustain is really important. That's why Gapsu is so great. I'm a big fan of him. Yeah, one last time, what'd you think of that last game there, Sean?
Gapsu, man. Gapsu's stock is crazy. I think Gapsu has been getting a lot of popularity in the normal RTA as well, due to the fact that he's just a very versatile character that works amazingly in a bruiser mirror matchup, and that is the meta we're in right now. And I think Gapsu is going to see some more play in the future, even in the normal series RTA too, being a free-to-play unit, of course.
I think you're right. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on the ladder, and you guys should keep your eyes peeled right back here for more Summit. Next week, Friday, it's the last week of the round robin phase, where all these teams are going to have one final opportunity to earn points. Topa and Sean, thank you so much. It's always so fun doing these with you guys. In chat, thank you for hanging out with us. Enjoy the codes, and we'll see you right back here next week. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye-bye.